Alongside Mark Kelly.
Welcome to Fratton Park. We've seen some impressive championship sides come here this season, but this is a whole nother level. Arsenal have got a pretty good claim to be the best team in the world at the moment, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, and even with 10 changes, they look an incredibly strong lineup for Pompey to take on this afternoon. But this is the FA Cup. Funny things can happen, and funny things happened yesterday with the holders Crystal Palace being knocked out by Macclesfield, and you don't often compare Portsmouth to Macclesfield in a complimentary way, but I feel like that's what we're doing here, just to remind everyone this is not a foregone conclusion. I'm pleased to say former Pompey and Ireland winger and Pompey Academy manager Mark Kelly is alongside me. Mark, is it a different feeling in the dressing room when you know you're taking on someone who is that different a level to what you're used to?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you can't get up for a game like this, Andy, what can you get up for? And just the atmosphere in here alone is starting to feel electric, isn't it? Arsenal fans, it's great for them. It's a different day out today. They've been cosseted, you know, they're Premier League grounds, and obviously as Pompey is, we love Fratton Park and the way it is. So for them, it probably feels like a proper old game of football again. So, you know, the atmosphere's starting to build. And as I say, as far as the players concerned, yeah, if you can't get up for this one and try and match yourself against some of the best players in the world, what can you get up for?
Players making their way out onto the pitch amongst a round of applause. Now, if you're a statistician, because Arsenal have got the whole Milton end and there's no segregation, I think we are going to see a highest Pompey attendance for a very long time this afternoon. It could hit 21,000 because pretty much every single seat in this stadium is going to be occupied, and for a number of logistical reasons that usually isn't possible, but you have to give slightly more tickets in the FA Cup than you do in the league. So Arsenal have got the whole Milton end, which is what, around 2,500. I know that it's still been a fight for people to get those tickets. Let's go through the lineups, and we'll start with Portsmouth. Joe Burstick's the goalkeeper, Terry Devlin, Regan Paul, Connor Shaughnessy and Zach Swanson the back four, Andre Dazelle and Luke Leroux in midfield, Adrian Segicic the right, Harvey Blair the left, Connor Chaplin through the middle, behind Colby Bishop up front, Ben Killip, Jordan Williams, Conor Ogilvie, Marlon Pack, John Swift, Franco Ume, Iban Boat, Jacob Farrell and Mackenzie Kirk are the substitutes for Portsmouth. And Mark, you'd argue this is pretty much Pompey's strongest 11. You'd still think, despite a poor showing last time out, that Nico Schmidt is the number one goalkeeper, but this is strong, or as strong as possible given the circumstances and challenges with the injuries.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. I think you're absolutely right. But it's the strongest team he could have put out today, and he'll have to balance it, of course. I think with Shaughnessy, you might have to have a look at that later on. But I think this is definitely the strongest starting lineup that he could have picked this afternoon with the injuries that he's got.
Arsenal coming down to the touchline, some of them to grab some refreshments. Here are the Arsenal players. Kepa Arrizabalaga is the goalkeeper. The back four, Ben White, Christian Norgard, Gabriel and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Ethan Nwaneri, Mikel Merino and Eberici Eze. The three in midfield, Gabriel Jesus, Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli. They're three. That is an attacking looking lineup for Arsenal today.
It really is, isn't it? That's a strong lineup. But for Devlin, Swanson, listen, you'd be interested. Do you want to go and pick yourself against? This is the place to do it. We've seen Terry have some good performances. Swanson's been good this season as well. Go and get in their faces, go and make it difficult for them. And
we've talked a lot from the Pompey point of view, but from the Arsenal perspective, these players are not in the team at the minute. This team is going incredibly well. They very much want to be in that league side, which they aren't in at the minute.
Listen, it's massive for them. They've got everything to play for. Every one of them needs to go out and deliver on a day, on a weekly basis, and it's their opportunity, it's their window to get in the manager's team and go and push for their place in that Arsenal lineup. So massive for them as well. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon.
Tony Harrington is the referee from North Yorkshire. He was a PE teacher before he became a referee, and he's done one game this season. If you like positive omens, I think this counts as one. It was the 1-0 win over Preston back in August, where everything looked and felt very, very different. Right, we're almost ready to get things underway. BBC Radio Solent, Express FM. And by the way, if you're anywhere in the UK, if you normally listen on BBC Radio Solent or Express FM, you can get your phone out today, because this game is live in the UK on the BBC Sounds app. Just find BBC Radio Solent, listen live, and you can listen to us. And if you know someone who lives outside the Radio Solent transmission area that doesn't usually listen, now is the time to drop them a message, or on your PC, just bbc.co.uk/Solent will take you there. Pompey are in their usual home colours. We are underway. Blue shirts, white shorts, red socks. Pompey going from left to right. Arsenal, the famous red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and white socks. And it is loud inside Fratton Park as Swanson driving forward down the left-hand side. An early attack for Pompey. Cross into the box is over the head of Bishop. And Lewis Skelly trying to deal with it at the far post, and happy just to let that one go out of play for an Arsenal throw deep inside their own half. Bishop's used to three centre-halves ganging up on him. I'm not sure he's going to have an easy day with Norgard and Gabriel, but at least there's one fewer than often he seems to face. Arsenal taking all day over the throw and then make a complete mess of it. Yeah, and it's volleyed straight out of play.
I think what we've won from Big Cold with Bishop, we want to go and give them a problem. Go and get your head in, go and make it difficult. You know, go and put your body around. That's exactly what he's doing. He's having a little tussle there. That's what you want to see from him this afternoon.
Throw into the area, looking for Bishop. Bishop trying to flick it on, loose in the 6-yard box. Arsenal volley it clear. Dozell trying to win the ball against Gabriel Jesus. Jesus falls to the ground. All legitimate and fair according to the referee as Shaughnessy goes long. It's a good looking ball to Devlin, who nods it down. Segicic outside the penalty area, turning towards the touchline. Pompey on the attack, and Segicic gets past one challenge. Devlin into the box, and it's too close to the goalkeeper, and Kepa can grab it. It's 0-0.
Yeah, good momentum by Pompey. Good start to the game. It's vibrant, having a little go, putting bodies in there. Devlin's won 2 really clean headers already. Segicic's picking up on the second bit. Really good start for Pompey.
Ball is back with Kepa Arrizabalaga, signed for £5 million from Chelsea in the summer. Spent last season on loan at AFC Bournemouth as Arsenal look to play their way out from the back. Martinelli, who is the survivor from the last Arsenal team that played here 5 or nearly 6 years ago now. As the ball goes out of play, it's a throw which Lewis Skelly will take, the player through the Arsenal youth system, down in front of Mikel Arteta, who had COVID last time he came to Fratton Park, but hopefully he's slightly healthier this time around. Gabriel at the back goes to the left to Lewis Skelly, edge of the penalty area. Gabriel back to Kepa, and Kepa's going to be put under pressure from Bishop, but he's calm, and he plays it out to the right to Ben White as Arsenal want to play their way out, and Madueke loses out. Does he commit a foul? No, says the referee, but Pompey still have it high up the pitch, and Blair looking to get a cross in to Chaplin, shoots, save, it's going to go in the net. Pompey have scored. Colby Bishop, Portsmouth lead Arsenal. Kepa couldn't hold the shot. Pandemonium at Fratton Park. The crowd erupts. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 0.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about that, Andy, was the pressing. That really high press. Connor Chaplin, Colby Bishop from the front. Little Harvey Blair backing it up. Swanson goes, nicks it, gets on the front foot, puts the ball in, hits Chaplin. Connor finds great space, hits it. Colby Bishop there to pick up the second bit, but that was all about the press. Brilliant press, putting them under pressure, making it difficult for them. You get your end results. Brilliant stuff. Good start from Pompey.
Wow, this is what we wanted. What a moment for Bishop. It's not been his season so far. He won't forget that one. Celebrated in front of the Arsenal fans. Pompey leading after 3.5 minutes. Bishop, the other impressive thing is he was way onside. He timed it, and he dealt with the bouncing ball calmly and stroked it into the roof of the net. And Arsenal, in a very small sample side of 3.5 minutes, have not looked like the best side in the world as yet.
No, absolutely. Come those back. Pompey have come out straight from the blocks.
Gabriel in the penalty area. Paul with a desperate last challenge, and then Devlin wins it and pings the ball forward up to Bishop, who can't control it. And now Arsenal, it feels like for the first time touching the ball there, they go back inside their own half, but touching the ball inside the Pompey territory.
Yeah, absolutely. They can't play forwards at the moment. Pompey getting the balance right of the press. There goes Swanson again, nicking it again.
Oh, Blair just can't gather the ball, so Arsenal have it again and play it up towards halfway. Shaughnessy against Jesus, and Jesus trying to join the physical battle, and that's what Shaughnessy's going to want, Jesus, to try and outmuscle him, because there's probably one area he's not going to necessarily come out on top.
Absolutely. You think he'd want to run channels, run him all over the place, but Shaughnessy's standing strong. But yesterday it was interesting, wasn't it, watching Macclesfield? I don't know if you saw it, the game. But ball went back, first header, centre half goes up, gets a cut, and that's the start of the game, right? And Pompey, the pressure they put on, same thing, they're just putting pressure, press is right. It's a good start from Pompey.
The concerning thing I'm going to give you is Arsenal have scored 14 goals from set pieces this season. Pompey have conceded 13.
Right.
So
don't give any set pieces.
I agree. You watched yesterday with Macclesfield and thought they might fancy themselves from a corner. I'm not sure Pompey are going to want too many set pieces necessarily at either end of the pitch.
I'm talking about the start of the game, Andy. It was literally from the centre. It was a kick. Centre half's gone up and headed the other centre half. He's gone intent and away they go. But no, you're right. But we've just got to be clever about set pieces this afternoon.
1-0 Portsmouth lead Arsenal. BBC Radio, Solent Sport and BBC Sounds live from Fratton Park as Madueke coming down that right hand side for Arsenal, looking to try and take on Swanson, who makes a good challenge. Loose ball finds its way to White. Arsenal 30 yards out in from the right hand side, chance to get a ball into Portsmouth's penalty area. Instead Miles Skelly has it in the middle of the Portsmouth half, moved from right to left. Now on this left hand side, Martinelli against Devlin. Martinelli threatening to go round Devlin, cross into the danger area. Header is won by Portsmouth and Devlin claims it's Pompey's ball. He could have cleared that one. He's let it go behind, and Arsenal do have themselves a corner kick.
That's the interesting one, isn't it? We've just been talking about set pieces. They're very, very strong. Devlin should just clear his lines there, get rid of it, but he's put it out for a corner. So, first one, can we stand strong?
The Pompey fans are indicating that there may be a supporter in distress in the Fratton end away to our left-hand side. So, it looks like there's a referee has just called a slight pause in play while the stewards over to the left go and investigate. If you're just tuning in, Portsmouth lead Arsenal by 1-0. A third minute Colby Bishop strike after Pompey won the ball high up the left. A sweeped effort from Connor Chaplin was saved by Kepa. It wasn't a great save because it's gone straight back out in the middle, and there was Bishop doing what good strikers do, being ready to put the ball in. Referee is just pausing things. Zach Swanson's having a word with him, Bishop as well, so we wait to find out exactly what's going on in the Fratton end away to our left hand side, and it looks like the referee's deemed that the stewards have got it under control, so we will get things back underway with a corner. Arsenal with two men running along the dead ball line. It's loose, and can Pompey get it clear? No, and Arsenal have put it into the net and they have equalised straight away. Too easy. First corner kick, and Arsenal are level. It's Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 1.
Yeah, as we said, we just spoke about it. They're strong. If you've done your homework and you've looked at it, they score goals from set pieces, and it was too soft, wasn't it? It's a gentle flick. If you don't win the first, you've got to win the second phase. We don't win that. We don't win the first one. The second phase is won by them again, and then it's just a melee and a touch, and the ball's in the back of the net, Andy. So extremely disappointing from a Pompey. Great start, but they'll be really disappointed with that set piece for sure.
I think it might be an own goal off Dazelle. I'm not quite sure who's going to ultimately get credit for this. I think that's gone off Dazelle from LaRue trying to clear it. So we are level, and we are 8 minutes into this game. It is Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 1, and Fratton Park quietened down. They've given the goal to Norgard, which would be his first Arsenal goal. I think that's just to avoid giving it as an own goal, because
yeah, absolutely.
I know Guy Whittingham's the kind of player who'd try and claim that goal, but
you have to claim them.
That's an own
gives
goal.
You them, that's the difference.
Right, Arsenal taking forever over a defensive throw. They then volley it forward. Challenge from Regan Poole. Loose ball in midfield, and Arsenal might look to break forward here. White out to the right hand side. Madueke is one-on-one with Swanson. We know how good he is, the right winger, trying to take on Swanson into the penalty area, going round the outside of him, pulling it back into the arms of Bursic, who came off his line just to wait in an area where Madueke was probably going to be forced to cross the ball, and he gathered it up 1-1.
Yeah, it was good goalkeeping, good choices from Bursic, but you can see Swanson, Martinelli down this side with Devlin. They're going to have their work cut out, the pair of them, this afternoon.
Pompey 21st in the Championship, 1 point clear of the relegation zone. Of course, no Championship action this weekend because everybody in FA Cup action. And strangely, there are no more weekends off for Pompey because of the FA Cup. So they have fixtures scheduled every weekend on the 4th, the 5th, etc. As a long ball over the top from Arsenal, should go all the way through to Bersic, ball in yellow.
I think the disappointing thing from Portsmouth's point of view, you just said it. I mean, they should have looked at their analysis, which I'm sure they did, how strong Arsenal can be at set pieces. Devlin had an opportunity to clear his lines, Andy, didn't he? And he chose to put it in behind, but just put it out for a throw, and we start from there. Just gives them that little bit of edge to get back into the game, and hopefully they don't start taking control. I think Pompey have got to get back to what they were trying to do and put them under pressure.
Regan Poole goes long. Bishop had come short, so it should be easily won at the back by Norgard, and it is. A foul by Dazelle on Gabriel Jesus in the centre of midfield, and Dazelle has a word with the referee, Tony Harrington. He doesn't quite agree with that decision.
No, I'm kind of with him, to be honest with you. I think they were both holding, and Dazelle just pushed him away to get hold of the ball, but the referee deems it as a free kick.
So, a free kick is going to be inside the centre circle, and it's picked up by Bere Eze, who is one of two players in this Arsenal squad who has experienced losing to Portsmouth in the past. He was a substitute in the League Cup back in 2019 when Portsmouth won at Loftus Road against Queen's Park Rangers. Arsenal coming forward down the right, challenge from Pompey to win the ball, then headed forward by Bishop, and Miles Skelly heads it forward. Blair on that left hand side picks it up against Ben White, and Blair holding him off, coming in field, goes to the ground and gets what I would describe as a fairly cheap free kick.
Yeah, it was, but clever himself. He's put his arms between the ball and the player, and he's just grabbed his arms and he's pulled down. It's a bit simple, but we'll play from Blair.
Asking a fair amount of Harvey Blair. Just step into Josh Murphy's shoes. Well, Murphy out injured, but he's played more on the right for Pompey. Does prefer the left, so he gets an opportunity there today, and if he plays well, might get another slate of games there. Drill ball into the penalty area. Bishop header is goal bound, but Kepa claims it just under his crossbar and avoided moving backwards into his own goal. He was just heading in that direction. Here's Eze for Arsenal, and they're into the centre circle. Wanyeri over to the right hand side. Madueke trying to get Ben White away down the right hand side. Flag goes up. He is offside as he crosses the ball in. 1-1 is the score, and we've played 12 minutes.
Yeah, just 2 yards. He just ran that yard early, and for Pompey, lucky. Those hands went up quite early, to be honest with you, Andy, but luckily he did. He just made that yard a bit too quickly.
No VAR in the FA Cup at all until the 5th round. It's the view that you've either got to have it everywhere or nowhere, and if you think installing it at Portsmouth would be expensive, look at Macclesfield Stadium and try and figure the logistics to get VAR in there. Well, that's not a nice ball back to Bersic, who was under pressure from Jesus, and he just about beat him to it. Lewis Skelly gets his header all wrong, and he's got Segacic for company, and Lewis Skelly goes to ground, and it's a very cheap free kick won by the Arsenal Academy product. 1-1.
Yeah, definitely looking for it, wasn't it? But Segacic just gave him that yard, put 2 hands on his back, and Skelly just goes down really, really simply.
Free kick to Arsenal in their left back area. BBC Radio Solent Sport and BBC Sounds live FA Cup football for you as Bishop charges Kepa's clearance down, which pinged straight behind for an Arsenal goal kick, and starts an inquest in the Arsenal defence.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're not comfortable, they're not happy at the back at the moment. Goalkeeper is just telling them, you need to make some angles for me so I can find you, but yeah, it's good to see, Andy. That means they rattled a little bit.
And this is the side that are 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Could have been 8 if they'd overcome Liverpool on Thursday. Right, goal kick taken short. Kepa is going to work it over to the right-hand side to Norgard, former Brentford man, signed for £10 million in the summer. Arsenal trying to come forward. That was a firm challenge from LaRue, but Arsenal have shrugged it off and driven forward. Loose ball in midfield, and Pompey trying to win it back, and they do win it back and go back to Conor Shaughnessy. Just 1 loss in 5 for Pompey coming into this game, but that loss was a 5-0 defeat at Bristol City that could in many ways have been worse. 1-1 though in the opening quarter hour here. Ball chipped down the touchline. Devlin beats Lewis Skelly to the ball, and Lewis Skelly sees it go out of play. It'll be an Arsenal throw, and Devlin saying, look, he's levered me into the air there.
I think he ducked more than anything. I think Devlin's done what Devlin does, gone straight for the ball. I think Skelly ducked and he's gone over the top of him, and sometimes you deem that as a free kick, don't you, really?
Ball is sent long by Kepa, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Madueke losing out to Swanson, and Swanson looking to drive forward down that left-hand side. Nice run from Swanson, he's still going. Excellent from Swanson into the penalty area. Swanson cutting in field, Chaplin out to the left. Can Blair now find a way to get that cross into the penalty area? He's going to lay it off. It's back to LaRue. Oh, there's so many players in the box, and groans in the crowd because the ball doesn't go in there. The Pompey still putting Arsenal under pressure. 1-1 the score. Out to this right-hand side. Segicic 1-on-1 with Lewis Skelly on the overlap. Devlin, and Devlin gets there first, and Devlin to the dead ball line, and Devlin drills it across, and Bishop claims he's being fouled in the air as it's cleared, and Arsenal survive that one.
Yeah, it's good build up from Pompey though. Segicic, nice little interactions with Devlin. Gets Devlin away, good ball across the face of the goal. And you say Colby Bishop, was he tugged?
Pompey coming down that left-hand side. Oh, that's well worked from Swanson. Here's Blair in the area. Blair shoots! It's off Bishop and wide! Oh, so close to a second for Portsmouth. Goal kick 1-1.
Yeah, great passage of play from both wings, to be honest. Built down the right with Devlin, it comes out. We go straight Swanson. Great pressing from Swanson again. Gets Harvey Blair away quickly. Well played by him. Good ball in the box. So really, really good play from Pompey there.
Bishop was pushing in and again was in the right area, but Kepa's palmed the ball to him, and it hit him hard and went wide. He had no chance to adjust his body or control where that went. Could easily have gone in for another one.
The goalkeeper's not over impressive, Andy, is he? He flaps at a few things. You want to see some pressure in the box with him, I think.
5 million doesn't buy you much.
No, it doesn't
days.
buy you a lot.
Chelsea paid £71 million when they signed him,
Wow.
5 or 6 years ago from
There you go.
Athletic Bilbao.
There's a come down.
Devlin heads it forward. Segicic, and a ball over the top. Although I should note, he had twins last season, so he might just be permanently in a state of no sleep.
Yeah. He needs a spare room then, doesn't he?
Definitely. I think it's more you buy a spare house when you're at that level. Lewis Skelly has got the ball in his hands on the left-hand side, 5 yards inside the Pompey half, to take an Arsenal throw, as Chaplin wins the ball and then rather theatrically goes to the ground under a challenge from Martinelli and wins a free kick. Connor Chaplin, the only Pompey player on this pitch who has played against the Arsenal first team before. That being said, a stoppage time substitute and a 4-0 loss for Ipswich last season, probably not going to go down as one of his...
It's probably not what he wants to think about, no.
Probably not one of his more memorable days. 1-1, BBC Radio Solent Sport. Arsenal had won 7 straight until that 0-0 draw with Liverpool on Thursday night. As Bursic preparing to launch his ball long towards the edge of the penalty area. Bishop, the target, nods it down, and it's really well actually dealt with by Marino, calmly heading it back to Kepa.
Yeah, but good pressure from Bishop again. He's been a bit of a target man up there today, Andy. He's causing two centre-halves some problems. He's certainly putting himself about, so keep that up, Colby Bishop. Really, really good start for him.
Start back after missing a couple of games with that ankle injury. Arsenal trying to build from the back with Marino, who is their deepest midfielder. That's not a great back pass to Kepa, and Pompey now look to try and press. And when they've pressed well, and the ball is back to Kepa, and he's got nowhere obvious to go, and he does scramble it out to White, and that's when Arsenal will look to try and get round this Pompey press. Madueke with a touch infield to Wanieri, and Ethan Wanieri looks for Lewis Skelly, and the crowd reaction will tell you that pass was not the best, and Pompey have got a throw, but Devlin's been told to go back. So to today's trivia question, Mark Kelly,
go.
What was the one side you faced in your playing career in the FA Cup third round in 1989? I'll give you a clue. It went to a replay. Pompey unfortunately losing the replay.
Was it Birmingham?
No, geographically you're not a million miles away, a bit further south.
1989, Andy.
Yeah. Playing red?
No, go.
Swindon was the answer. Back in the days when Swindon were a side bothering the top 2 divisions, as Eze trying to get through for Arsenal. Leaps in between a couple, slows it down. Pompey get men behind the ball. Eze is 15 yards inside the Portsmouth half. Here's Lewis Skelly, and Arsenal out on the left with Martinelli again. Devlin goes and puts pressure on him, and Martinelli is forced back. Pompey probably taking the right approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being aggressive here.
Absolutely. It was a really, really good press from Devlin. We've seen Swanson and Devlin, with those aggressive presses, and certainly working at this moment in time.
But with Norgard at the back, out to the right-hand side for Ben White. White looking to try and break beyond Madueke. And things are moving forward for Arsenal. White, that's a lovely ball forward, and Shaughnessy was one, and then two really good bits of defending, and the ball's out for a Pompey throw, 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely, from the big centre half, setting out, he's still there. You say 2 tackles, 1, and Pompey throw.
Which they will take their time over. Colby Bishop giving Pompey a 3rd-minute lead. A Dizelle own goal, levelling it up for Arsenal on 8 minutes with their first corner of the game. Pompey can't keep the ball up front. Arsenal can't keep it in midfield. And Swanson's going to ping it back to Joe Bursick, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, in for Nico Schmidt today, one of 4 changes for Portsmouth. And Paul going to go back to Bursick. He looks forward with his left foot towards Blair. Controls it nicely on the touchline, but Blair's inside his own half, and Pompey, with LaRue, the South African, are going to go back to Joe Bursick. And John Messino just saying, just slow things down as he goes long. Lewis Skelly does well to win the header. Chaplin looking down the right, but Devlin hasn't made the run. He holds his hand up, suggesting maybe he should have done, and it's through to Kepa, the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was there to make the run, but as you say, I think he was watching the game. I think he thought Connor was going to go out and play somewhere else.
Arsenal knocking it round at the back. Lewis Skelly, who's not had too many opportunities this season, in a year where you think a young English player is going to be desperate to play and think about getting on that plane to America next summer. So he's very much in the balance for someone like him. Here's Regan Paul, and goes back to Bursick, looking to chip it out towards the left-hand side, and Pompey lost it forward, but Bishop was offside, so he had to leave it. Blair can go and chase it, but it's going to go out of play, and it'll be a throw to Arsenal midway inside their own half. The far side as we look the right. How do you sum up this opening quarter of the game, Mark
Good start
Kelly?
from Pompey, especially in free play, very live. The pressing's really good. They're getting the balances right of the work rate, the commitment they're having to put into it. I think they've had controls of it. I think they've had the better chances as well, Andy, but just unfortunate. We let Arsenal take the one advantage that they've had, which is the set pieces at the moment, and just gave away in the 3rd minute, but that's the disappointing thing about this first quarter, I think.
BBC Radio, Solent Sport, Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 1, and BBC Sounds, of course, as well. Ball is at the back with Norgard, and he's going to go short, and it's played up towards halfway. Shaughnessy with a brilliant challenge, and Pompey on the attack, and Tegatic outside the penalty area on his left foot. He wants to shoot, and he will hit it straight at Gabriel, who saw him coming and knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, funnily enough though, Pompey had 2 or 3 bodies over it. They just needed to move the ball quicker.
I say that's a good ball forward, and here's Jesus for Arsenal into the penalty area, winning on his right foot, and that's his downfall because Paul gets the challenge in, and it's back to Bursick.
Yeah, Pompey's 2 centre halves, they're loving this at the moment. You can see full commitment from the pair of them, Shaughnessy and Paul. Really, really strong there. Paul just gets his arms across him.
And look, let's said it before the game, said it a number of times. A fit and firing Paul Shaughnessy centre-half pairing. Devlin and Swanson has done a good job at left-back. That's a very decent, even championship back four
it is.
For those.
There's some fine balance with it, and we've just got to make sure we get tight. We know how good Arsenal are. If you give them room, you give them time, they're going to hurt you, Andy. But the lads are getting the balance of the press right, which is really good at this moment in time.
Shaughnessy nods it out. Arsenal throw midway inside the Pompey half on the right-hand side. Arsenal's FA Cup record, not particularly good, actually. They won the competition in 2020. It's not been past round 4 since then as they break into the area. Madueke from the dead ball line. Oh, that was a slightly risky challenge. And a corner kick is given against Swanson.
It was a great time tackle, to be fair to Andy. Yeah, he's taken a risk. He's
got to get it right.
He's got to get it right, and he absolutely got it right. He's getting away from him. Great timing from him. Comes around him, perfect timing. Yeah,
just gets the ball and means Madueke keeps running, and then the ball's slowed right down, and he knows it's not a penalty, but a corner kick is pretty dangerous for Pompey. I won't bore you with the stats, but it's up to 15 set-piece goals this season for Arsenal, and 14 conceded for Pompey.
And it certainly hasn't been our strongest point all season, has it, really?
Been problematic. A left-footed in-swinger to come. Can Pompey deal with this one? Madueke is going to deliver. Puts his right hand in the air. Again, 3 running across the goal line into the near post. Heads go up and into the net. And Arsenal have a second. I think it's Martinelli who's put it in. 2 corners, 2 goals for Arsenal. And they've turned it round, and it's Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I know they are strong from set pieces, but they're a full-flowing team. They score lots of goals, free play. They haven't looked like doing that this afternoon. We've been strong, Pompey. It's been that set piece problem again, Andy, and again, near post flick on, misses everybody. Just a guided flick at the near post and it's in. You've got to stop them from happening. You've got to get bodies out there. It's too easy. It's too easy at the near post for sure. That's too easy a contact.
8th goal of the season for Gabriel Martinelli, who is far and away not the biggest player on the pitch, but Pompey all at sea trying to deal with these Arsenal corners. Gabriel Martin, the public address system named him as. That sounds like the kind of player you'd come across on Sunday League. Martinelli has that one. As I said, the survivor in the starting 11 from the last caused a few problems on Thursday when he dragged Conor Bradley off the pitch as the ball's gone behind for a Arsenal goal kick, and Bradley picked up a fairly serious knee injury. So 2-1, Arsenal ahead, and we have played 26 minutes.
Yeah, I think Pompey a lot of this season have been zoning quite a lot, and when you zone with quite a few non-markers, Andy, you get runners coming off you, and that's exactly what's happened twice there. Really, for me, you've got to go man to man. You've got to be a bit more committed to what you're doing. I think we're just letting easily too much.
Pompey win it high up the pitch, but Chaplin can't find Segacic with a reverse pass, and Arsenal will break forward. Jesus got a shove in the back from Shaughnessy, but kept it and finds Eze inside his own half on the left-hand side, going back to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Lofted forward by Gabriel. Shaughnessy wins a header for Portsmouth, loose in midfield. Leroux's beaten to it, and Arsenal will drive forward with Nwaneri. It's a nice run from him. Madueke went offside. Blair's chasing him, and Dazelle then is able to put a stop to that run, and Pompey pick up possession midway inside their own half. 2-1 Arsenal ahead as Blair is fouled, and Pompey have themselves a free kick 10 yards inside their own half, and happy just to slow things down. 2-1 the score. Haven't beaten Arsenal since 1958, 22 games, Pompey, which actually isn't their worst run. They haven't beaten Chelsea for 31 games. And you think of the good draws and the times Pompey took their lead, it was kind of hard to imagine that Pompey didn't beat Arsenal at any point in those Premier League seasons, as Blair down the left, cross to come in from Swanson, is blocked and out of play. Pompey throw on the left, 30 yards out. As I was saying though, Arsenal won the Cup in 2020. It was a big win for Arteta, beating Man City in the semi-finals and Chelsea in the final in behind closed doors football, but not gone past the 4th round since then.
Yeah, that's not great, is it? That's quite poor for them, isn't it, if you think about it, really.
Beaten at home by Manchester United last season. I think they've had 3 third round exits in that period.
Yeah, that's, I'm sure they'll want to keep some momentum going today. The manager's out on the sideline. Arsenal he's still not happy with the way they're playing, Andy. He's still not happy with the way they're trying to do things.
And this is the frustration for Portsmouth. You've let 2 in from set pieces when you have defended well in open play and caused them problems in open play. Absolutely,
and have been playing the better football in free play. It's really, really frustrating that 2 simple set pieces put you behind.
Regan Poole thinks he should have a free kick from challenge from Eze. He's not going to get one, and it's out of play for an Arsenal throw, which Lewis-Skelly is going to take. Remind you that as well as listening to today's game on BBC Sounds, which of course you can do, you can get all of our great content throughout the week on BBC Sounds. If you search for Portsmouth in the BBC Sounds app and hit subscribe, you'll get a notification every time a new interview or a new episode of our podcast Who Needs Mourinho is released. Hopefully be a new one out tomorrow as Devlin comes forward, looks for Bishop. Chaplin and Pompey have it in the Arsenal half. Dazelle going over to the left hand side to Swanson. And Swanson finds Blair on that left-hand side, looking to try and take on Ben White. Instead comes back to Dizelle. Arsenal with everybody at least 10 yards deep inside their own half, leading Portsmouth by 2-1 on BBC Radio Solent Sport. Devlin is going to go back to Bursick, who comes short and finds Dizelle. And Devlin on the right-hand side on halfway comes in field to Chaplin. And Devlin goes back to Paul. And Paul looks to keep it moving. Here's Dizelle outside the penalty area. Short to Bishop. Bishop on halfway loses possession, and Arsenal have it and try and break forward. Touch for Eze, and they're trying to work Martinelli in, and Martinelli's in, and he's put it just wide.
Wow, what a great quick break though from Arsenal, to be fair. Really on the counter. Bishop needs to get hold of that ball. He's the central focal point, and he can't. He's got to get his body into it, build in and let players in, but it's too cheaply, and it's just one ball. Martinelli's in, and he's just curled it
about
wide.
A yard wide of the post in the end. It's coming round, but too slowly.
Just curled it. But great ball, great touch to get him into that position. Pompey, luckily for Pompey, he's put it wide.
Lost his footing there. Long ball forward. Bishop being wrestled to the ground. Now Blair on that left-hand side trying to come forward. He's got Swanson on the overlap. Good position. Pompey are in. Swanson into the penalty area. His shot is blocked. Well played by Swanson. Pompey's still there. Blair down by the dead ball line on the left-hand side. In on his right foot. Going back. Chance for a cross to come in. Deep towards that far post. Gabriel will head away easily. Regan Poole trying to win the ball back. And Dizelle goes back to Shocknessy, who, under a little bit of pressure from Eze, didn't have any choice but than to go back to Joe Bursick, who lifts it long and forward, where Arsenal were headed away and nodded infield, or attempted to be nodded infield, by Jesus, who won 4 Premier Leagues and an FA Cup in his time at Man City, but he couldn't find a red shirt. And Pompey have it through Chaplin. 2-1 is the lead. You're listening to BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds this afternoon. Here's Dizelle, reverse ball forward, is given away to Madueke, and Arsenal try and break forward. Pompey got a challenge in but couldn't win it. Arsenal just outside the area, and Jesus helps it on to Martinelli, who, if he leaves it, Martinelli's okay, but by the time it was nodded onto him, he was offside, and it's a Portsmouth free kick.
Yeah, Pompey just got to be really delicate in their defending third. They give ball away cheaply, Andy. It's one pass will kill you, and it's nearly happened twice. We've just got to be a little bit careful. Once we get hold of that ball, we've got to keep it and work it into wide areas as quickly as we can.
Pompey thought it was a goal kick, and we're taking that. Instead, it's of course a free kick. Mentioned not a great FA Cup record for Arsenal. Pompey haven't won a game in the competition since beating MK Dons here in December 2022. Did go on and put out a very good performance against Spurs in the next round, losing by a 1-0 through Harry Kane's strike. Not won a game in the competition since.
Yeah, but as we said, there's been a lot happening in their time. We're either fighting off relegations or going for promotion, so always has a big impact on what's going on in the FA Cup.
Yeah, you take the promotion and avoiding relegation, even if it came at expense of the FA Cup, as Chaplin's hard work wins Pompey a throw inside the Arsenal half on the far side as we look at the left. 2-1. The goals from Dizelle own goal and Gabriel Martinelli. Just have to say that the press box is a little more congested than we're used to this afternoon.
It really is. It's extremely busy, isn't it?
There's not a lot of room to move around.
Just trying to move my leg at the moment, funnily enough.
There's no room for that. You're lucky there's room for the legs. Right, throw on the left taken by Portsmouth. Challenge on Chaplin. Pompey have another throw 30 yards out. Swanson will take it. Chaplin is going to half volley it forward. Gabriel running out of defence, volleys it clear and goes long towards Joe Bursick just outside the penalty area. Paul, touch back to Bursick, and Bursick is going to lift it forward, where Arsenal gather possession from the former Stoke man, and the ball at the back once more with Gabriel, who was £27 million from Lille back in 2020. Fair to say, a good signing, given how impressive a centre-half he's become. And he's averaging 1 goal in 10 from centre-half, given the set-piece prowess, which
there you go.
is not bad. Here's Martinelli, Arsenal on the attack, coming in on the left-hand side. Martinelli, nice ball in. Stooping header away by Shaughnessy. Back to Martinelli. Now a chance for Lewis Skelly, or it would have been a chance for him to come forward, but a good starting challenge from Devlin that came off the Arsenal man, and it's a Portsmouth throw down by the right corner flag.
Yeah, fully committed tackle from Devlin there. He's gone with his foot. Skelly seemed to pull out a little bit, didn't he, at the last minute. That's Terry Devlin.
Terry Devlin's name sung out by the Fratinen as he prepares to take a throw down the line. Bishop heads it up in the air. That's going to go out for an Arsenal throw, and Bishop grabs it pretending he thinks it's a Portsmouth throw, but he's well aware that it isn't. And Miles Lewis Skelly will take it. Here's Lewis Skelly with the throw. Arsenal coming forward. Now going back to Gabriel, 10 yards inside his own half. 2-1 Arsenal ahead. BBC Radio Solent Sport. Ball is back with Kepa, who has looked slightly shaky.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't feel confident at all, and you think if Pompey can keep putting him under pressure a little bit, he could give you a few bits and pieces for sure. Leroux
jumps forward and heads that one in the air, but Arsenal have got numbers there and can gather, and the Pompey press isn't really set up, so White's got space on the right for Arsenal to come up towards halfway or go behind the Pompey defence. He was threatening to do that as Madueke made a run. It's there in midfield with Marino. Nice turn from Mikel Marino. £31 million he cost back in 2024. Can play further forward, even up front if needed, the former Real Sociedad player, as Arsenal forced all the way back to Kepa once more, who this time just launches it long, and Jesus, I'd say, gives Shaughnessy a bit of a taste in his own medicine there, because he pushed him in the back, but the difference is when a striker does that to a defender, a free kick's normally given, and it was there.
Totally. I don't think Shaughnessy was too worried about it either, and he just gave him a little glance as he's done it.
Said before, if Jesus wants to battle him physically, that is a battle that Shaughnessy is happy to have. Ball on the ground at Jesus' feet. Around might be a bit trickier. 2-1 Arsenal ahead. Free kick to Pompey near halfway, which Chaplin looks like he's going to send forward because the centre halves have gone forward. And a couple of Arsenal players went to warm up, including young Marley Salmon, the 16-year-old, as the ball forward, not completely cleared away by Arsenal. Bishop tries to hook it back goalwards. Shaughnessy with a flick on, but no one in blue where it landed, and it's cleared forward. And Devlin's got a bit of work to do, and he was thought about heading it back to Bursic, but very sensibly realised that was going to be dangerous, so he didn't, and he turned away out of trouble and played it forward. But Arsenal pick it up. Miles Skelly, that's another Lewis Skelly. That is another risky play that split two defenders, but Arsenal had numbers there. And now Waneri, who AFC Bournemouth are rumoured to be interested in the window, plays it forward. Jesus, nice back heel. Madueke into the area. Danger here. Paul throws himself into the way of that shot, and it's out for a throw. 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, another brilliant tackle from Paul, to be fair. Fully committed. There's a bit of space, but he just fully committed into that challenge. It was brilliant time challenge.
Arsenal throw, level with the penalty on the right-hand side.
Blair's gone down there, Andy, I think.
Blair has gone down and wants some treatment. And Franco Ume is told to go and warm up and potentially be ready, as Zach Swanson is coming across to have a chat with the dugout. It's not a good sign when a player goes down under their own steam, and Blair is sat on the ground, and obviously someone who's had a number of problems. Kepa has come across to chat to Iñaki Kanya, who is the, I hope I got the Spanish pronunciation right there, the Arsenal goalkeeping coach. Mikel Arteta also getting involved in the discussion as well.
It looks like Pompey are making that sub, Andy.
Yeah, Blair coming off. So one thing Pompey really didn't want was another injury, and it looks like that is what they are going to pick up. Franco Ume made his senior debut against Charlton. Not a bad couple of minutes to be involved in for your senior debut. And appearance number 2 is going to be against Arsenal in the FA Cup. 2-1, and Pompey see another player go off injured.
Yeah, it's certainly something we don't want to see, but you could tell straight away, couldn't you, the way that Blair went down. He went down, he wasn't happy at all, and he's just limping off the pitch now.
So Harvey Blair off. A blow for Pompey. Former Crystal Palace man, Franco Ume, is on. 2-1 is the Arsenal lead. Both goals coming from set pieces. Pompey talking optimistically about making new signings next week. I think there was some truth in Osman Sow, player they were linked to, but that never really got that far. Paddy McNair, a player also linked with, although I've spoken to someone who called that suggestion to some degree, as Gabriel coming forward, and here's Lewis Skelly coming to the left-hand side to Martinelli, and Pompey win the ball. That's good work from Connor Chaplin. Needs an outlet, looking for Ume on this right-hand side, who shows really good strength to win the ball, but Pompey can't keep it. So Segicic has gone to the left. This is a nice run forward from Jesus for Arsenal. We'll work that out in a minute. White in the penalty area. Chance for Arsenal, into the net, surely, off the post, and Bursic gathers it. How on earth has that not gone in? Still 2-1.
Wow, it's a ball across the face. Martinelli at the far stick. He hits the post.
Well, and also, if Martinelli just pulls that back at all, it's going to be tapped in by Eze, I think. But the way it hit the post completely deceived everyone, and Pompey completely get away with one there.
Absolutely.
And it's still 2-1, and Pompey try and break forward, but Bishop can't get on to the end of that pass. So Blair off, Ume on is Pompey's change, and Blair being applauded as he comes around the pitch. 4 to go to the break. BBC Radio, Solent Sport and BBC Sounds. 2-1 as Arsenal come forward. Madueke on the right-hand side, taking on Swanson, going round him easily and then throwing himself to the ground and getting a penalty kick. Pompey can't believe that one. Madueke down, and Tony Harrington points straight to the spot. The blue shirts are still protested, but it's not going to change anything, and it's a penalty to Arsenal. Yeah,
I think Swanson, to be honest, he's got past him, Andy, and I think there can be a pull. I think he's trying to get by him. Yeah, he has. He's made contact. Once he goes by you, you've got to leave him. He's gone. He's got to stand up. He's got to leave him. He's still pulling him. Yeah, he clips him at the back of the leg, and it looks like a clear penalty to me.
Even if there was VAR, it wasn't going to overturn that one. Noni Madueke is going to take on Joe Bursic, who stood 2 yards off his line, hopping back and making himself big, and people are waving phone lights and scarves and hands to try and put Madueke off. He's going to take this with his left foot. The whistle goes. Madueke for Arsenal steps forward, pauses and puts it wide. He misses, and it's still 2-1.
Absolutely misses. He sat the goalkeeper down. It was one of those small step penalties. Let the goalkeeper move. The goalkeeper moves. He sits him down, and then he pulls it wide.
That he's done a lot right, but it's a yard wide. It doesn't need to be in the corner. You're right. He sat Bursic down.
He has,
and
and then he pulls it.
And then he pulls it well wide. If you want to get on the plane to America, which Madueke will, as Pompey fans incensed at a free kick going Arsenal's way, you've got to be able to put your penalties away to get in this England squad, Mark.
You certainly do. He'll come under pressure moments, that's for sure. But listen, he done it, as you said, he did most of it right, but he just pulled it at the end. He only needed to roll it in the corner.
I realise I keep mentioning the World Cup. You're probably more concerned with the Republic Islands playoff coming up than England's
they are, since they can get anywhere.
Well, they had a bit of drama getting themselves into the playoff as Arsenal send a risky ball back to Kepa, and Gabriel provides the shield to stop Bishop getting to the ball. LaRue nods it forward. Devlin rides one challenge, doesn't really have anywhere to go, but somehow finds Ume. That was very good from Devlin, and that wasn't so great from Ume, who gives it away. And now Madueke driving forward. Madueke going away from one, still going, gives the ball away. Pompey have it.
Yeah, well stood up again. Pompey defending, coming out with Terry Devlin.
Devlin is going to go back to Regan Paul. It is 2-1 in Arsenal's favour. It would have been 3-1 if that penalty had gone in. 45th minute of the half, and Ume has got away from Miles Lewis Skelly, who pulls him back. and has to go into the book for that challenge, beaten by Ume. And Ume is quick when he gets going, and Miles Lewis Skelly, the first booking of the day, and an easy one.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, he knew he was going to get outrun. He's just got his hand up and he's pulled him back, so definite free kick, definite booking.
He's just totally misjudged that one in the air.
He has, and he
Lewis
knows he's
Skelly.
away. Ume's away. He's just pulling away, and Skelly grabs his shirt, pulls him down.
So free kick, 40 yards out, in from the right-hand side, and Segicic will take it for Portsmouth, as we are about to find out how much stoppage time, and the answer is 3 minutes of stoppage time, which we are into now on BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds, as Segicic prepares to curl this one towards the far post. Good delivery. Arsenal win the first header. It's not cleared away from the box, though. Swanson was offside, was he? No, but it goes through to Kepa anyway, and John Messino is in Lee Doughty, the fourth official's ear, as Arsenal look to try and strike again before the half-time whistle comes, as Swanson sensibly slows things down, and Dazelle back in the defensive line for Pompey finds LaRue, and back to Shocknessy. Here's Regan Paul, finds Devlin on the right-hand side, forward to Chaplin. Devlin is fouled by Gabriel Jesus, who must be said has cut a frustrated figure at times up front.
Yeah, he has. He's they're not giving him anything really at this moment in time. He's trying to come a bit deeper to pick the ball up, Andy, at the moment.
Only Liverpool in August with that late Szoboszlai free kick, and Aston Villa 6 weeks or so ago, only sides in any competition to have beaten Arsenal this season, were of course pushed to penalties by Palace in the League Cup the other day, but made it safely through, as Arsenal concede a throw as Pompey were trying to drive down the left. Pompey throw. We've played 1 and a bit minutes of stoppage time, as Pompey work it back to Conor Shocknessy, and he'll play a short pass to Regan Paul. It is good news for Pompey having that as their defensive pair once more. Devlin on halfway on the right-hand side, looking for Ume, and in the end is happy just to take a throw off Martinelli, who concedes a throw and then looks as if the world's about to end, given his level of frustration at what happened there. And Devlin throws down the line. Header won by Miles Lewis Skelly. And Arsenal to Madueke in the centre circle, and he gets past Swanson again, and that is another foul, clearly. And a free kick to Arsenal on halfway. So, Miles Lewis Skelly take his time over this one, getting a rare opportunity. Here's Eze, £60 million from Crystal Palace in the summer. Player, of course, who scored the winner in the FA Cup final last year. That momentous day for Crystal Palace, where it felt like a bit of an FA Cup throwback, where such a significant moment for him and his club, beating Man City in that final.
Yeah, absolutely.
Surely anyone that wasn't a Man City fan was very much behind Palace that day. Here Arsenal try and break forward, but the ball to Martinelli's not great, and Paul intercepts, and Pompey have it through Devlin, who wants Ume to come near. Ume leaves it for Chaplin, who rode the challenge, or tried to ride the challenge, and the throw has gone the way of Arsenal. Marino made the challenge, and Chaplin has a pop at the assistant referee on this near side, and it will be an Arsenal throw. And we've played the 3 minutes of added time. Referee puts his whistle to his lips, and the half-time whistle goes, and Pompey may be losing by 2-1. But Mark Kelly, there's applause from the supporters around us with what they've seen.
Yeah, absolutely, and there should be, Andy, I think, in free play. Pompey have got the presses right, worked right, had some opportunities, scored the first goal, scored the opener, and it all started to look good. But the only disappointing thing has been the disappointing thing probably all season. 2 set pieces, simple set pieces, second one especially getting near done at the near post, and really frustrating, because actually in free play not only have Pompey have held their own, but I think they've had the better opportunities while in free play. So I think the coaching staff will be a little bit frustrated with that going in at half time.
Reminded a couple of times the penalty Madueke won and missed, and Martinelli's effort that they can attack at you at paces that you just don't see in the Championship.
No, absolutely, and it's it can be one mistake, can't it? There's Colby Bishop not holding it up on the halfway line. It's one ball straight through the middle. Martinelli just puts it wide, and as you said, you just got to be on your game all the time. You can't make silly mistakes. You can't give them opportunities, because as soon as that turnover goes in, they're in at you, and they've got so much pace and power at times, it can be frightening. But Pompey have dealt with most things well, Andy. It's only been those 2 set pieces going in at half-time.
08000 321 is our WhatsApp number. Save that in your phone as BBC Radio Solent and make Solent the first word of your message. 81333 is the text number. Again, start with the word Solent. At Solent Sport is where you can find us on social media. Full second half to come on BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds with myself and Mark Kelly. At the interval, though, Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
We've got another entertaining cup tie on our hands at Fratton Park, with Pompey getting off to a flyer, but the Premier League leaders responded well.
Madueke loses out. Does he commit a foul? No, says the referee, but Pompey still have it high up the pitch. And Blair looking to get a cross in. De Chaplin shoots! Save! It's going to go in the net! Pompey have scored! Colby Bishop! Portsmouth lead Arsenal! Kepa couldn't hold the shot! Pandemonium at Fratton Park! The crowd erupts! Back underway with a corner. Arsenal with 2 men running along the dead ball line. It's loose, and can Pompey get it clear? No. And Arsenal have put it into the net, and they have equalised straight away. Too easy. First corner kick, and Arsenal are level. Can Pompey deal with this one? Madueke is going to deliver. Puts his right hand in the air. Again, 3 running across the goal line into the near post. Heads go up and into the net. And Arsenal have a second. I think it's Martinelli who's put it in. 2 corners, 2 goals for Arsenal.
Will on X says we played well, so we'll take that definitely. Also, Andy says we're still in the game, playing well, so let's take it. And Mike says as well, very good, really impressed with the defenders, having a super game so far. Get your thoughts in on the text 81333, Solent first word. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, Solent at the start of your message. Get us on X as well, which is at Solent Sport. Pompey 2-1 down to Premier League leaders Arsenal at half-time. Second half commentary coming up with Andy Moon and Mark Kelly on BBC Sounds and your smart speaker. Make sure you ask it to play BBC Radio Solent for second half commentary. Coming up during half time, we're going to run through all the other FA Cup scores. We'll look back on yesterday's FA Cup football that we brought you here on Solent Sport as well. It's all on the way on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
When I first met Dave, we were inseparable. I loved the way he talked to me. He made me feel so special. But now, I think he spends more time on his phone.
Hey, smart speaker.
Hold on, did he just say my name? Yes, Dave, I'm listening.
Play BBC Radio Solent.
Oh, Dave, I knew you still loved me. Playing BBC Radio Solent.
Thanks for listening to BBC Radio Solent on your smart speaker. It's really good to have you with us.
Just say, play BBC Radio Solent.
Jono Holmes.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Very good afternoon. Rick Jackson back tomorrow here on BBC Radio Solent. He's here every weekday afternoon with some great guests, and tomorrow just after 2:30 Rick is joined by former Strictly Pro Oti Mabuse, and it's every day. It's a school day after 4 as well, so make sure you're with Rick tomorrow afternoon. Daniel says much better from Pompey than I'm sure anyone expected against an Arsenal side that's weaker, of course. If we could defend set pieces, we could have a chance here. Get your thoughts in on X, on the text, and on WhatsApp as well. I'll read as many out as I can at half time. FA Cup action today in the third round earlier on. Leeds won at Derby by 3-1. These games all started at 2:30, so a half an hour behind Pompey. It's goalless between West Ham and QPR. Goalless as well between Swansea and West Brom in the all-championship tie. It's 1-1 between Sheffield United and Mansfield. Norwich are 1-up on Walsall, and it's goalless in the championship tie between Hull and Blackburn. At 4:30, it's the all-Premier League tie between Manchester United and Brighton. And the Scottish Premiership League leaders Hearts are 1 up at Dundee. Rangers go to Aberdeen at 4:30. In terms of women's football, in the National League Cup quarter-final, it was called off due to a frozen pitch between Swindon and AFC Bournemouth women. That was due to get underway at 2 o'clock, but that was called off, as I say, due to a frozen pitch. And in the FA Women's National League Plate quarter-final at half-time, Moneyfields are 2-1 up on London City Lionesses under-21s. We'll keep you up to date with that. Now, this is part 2 of our FA Cup weekend on Solent Sport. It was goals galore yesterday. An absolute thriller up at St James's Park as Bournemouth lost on penalties to Newcastle. 3-3 after extra time. Some really late goals at the end of normal time and extra time as well. But unfortunately for the Cherries, they are out at the third round stage. Here's the thoughts of Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola.
Yes, it's the FA Cup. Very, very proud of being part of this game, really. Because it's true that at the end we are out of the competition, but I don't think we can ask much more to the players. I think we've given everything. For us it was an important game, and we've been so close, especially with the 2-1 stoppage time. I think Buffo sleeps and then we concede the penalty. Even in the stoppage time, I think we have two very clear situations, no? With Alex Jimenez and Alex Scott against the keeper. We are not able to score, and even if we score at the end the 3-3, no? Even in the shootout, we were in a moment in front of them, but it was not meant to be.
How's Bafode in the dressing room? Always has to be someone who has to be that person. Today it was him.
I think almost everyone shot it. I think it's 18 penalties. You know, we missed 3 and they missed 2, and it's true that the team that finished the game, probably we didn't have a lot of specialists. From the 2-3 first penalties, it was a matter of choosing, no? Between players that probably they've never shot a penalty, or very few times they've shot a penalty, no? And you never know how they are gonna react. They missed 2, we missed 2, and then it was a shootout, and we missed first.
What about the character from your team to even be in that position to have a penalty shootout, though? Newcastle scored so late on an extra time. I think most people in the stadium at that point think they're heading through to the 4th round, but Bournemouth, as always, seem to have other ideas.
I think we've been always competitive. Even in this run of games we haven't won, we've been in a lot of the games, and it's been like today, a matter of small things. Sometimes the other day against the Spurs probably was the first time we went to our side in the stoppage time, but a lot of times recently, no, in very level, very tight, very these kind of situations where a lot of times it's going to the other way.
Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola speaking to Jordan Clark after the penalties loss to Newcastle in the third round. Midfielder Marcus Tavernier told us how the squad is feeling after being out of the cup.
I feel like we're all confident in the position. In what position we're in the sense that we know what we need to do to push on and kick on. You know, we're a team full of character, and we all know that. So we always stick together, no matter what the situation is. You know, when we're doing well, it's the same thing. We stick together. So when the times are bad as well, we have to do the same thing. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to have a little bit of a recovery now. And with there being so many games over the last couple of weeks, so it's time to just recover a little bit. But all eyes focused on the Premier League now.
First chance we've had to speak to you since Antoine left. I know you're both very good friends. How do you feel about his move and him as a person and player? I mean, I think we've seen firsthand sort of how much love there's been for him around Bournemouth.
Yeah, that man deserves everything he gets. There's no shortcut to success, and he's the living example of that. I feel like he's one of the hardest workers. I've said it before about him, but he's always working on himself, whether that'll be on the pitch or off the pitch. And I think everyone in the club can tell you how much of a great character he is. That's probably going to be the biggest miss for us in that sense, that he's one of the big characters in the dressing room, but he deserves everything he's going to get going forward, and I'm sure he's going to take off with Man City and start proving himself there as well.
Marcus Tavernier, the Bournemouth midfielder, speaking to us after the penalties defeat at Newcastle. Full reaction on BBC Sounds by searching for Bournemouth, and the Cherries are next back in action a week tomorrow as they go to Brighton in the Premier League. So a bit of a break now for Bournemouth. Southampton are through after a second half scare at League One Doncaster. Saints were 3 up at half time, but the home side pulled it back to 3-2 in the second half. But Saints held on to progress to the 4th round. Boss Tonda Eckert spoke to Adam Blackmore after.
Well, you asked me this week on what I think about the the FA Cup, and I think it's a very special tournament, and it's never an easy one, because you actually have nothing to lose then when you go down. So I'm very pleased that we are in the next round.
But you can't be pleased that you lost control of the game at 3-0. You should be passing them off the pitch for the second half, shouldn't you?
Yes. I think in the end there are some patterns that we have seen all season, and we talk about similar flows of games, and we need to make sure that we improve in our resilience on setbacks.
Well, this comes to me thinking, well, you probably need to keep looking in the window then for someone else to come in and help you do that, because it keeps happening.
Yeah, well, I don't know if tonight is the day to talk about the window. I know that these questions always come up in January. I'm very happy that we are through. We talked this week, and we will continue next week to give them players some tools, especially in those moments in the game where we just have something that we can always hold on to, and that will always be the same. But yeah, very good first half. Second half could be better, but in the end, we're in the next round.
Yeah, and a very good first half based on 7 changes as well, and the players that turned up performed in that first 45 minutes. So good response for you from them.
Yeah, I think that the squad is good. I keep repeating that. Obviously, in the window, there's always questions and coming up on how we can improve, and we always look, obviously, if there's something coming up. But I think that we have a good squad.
Southampton boss Tonda Eckert speaking to Adam Blackmore. Goalkeeper Daniel Peretz made his debut after arriving on loan from Bayern Munich. So how was his first taste of English football?
Yeah, quite a welcome, but I think we did the most important thing and we managed to win this game. Cup is never easy, so congrats for the team.
I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm thinking, you've just arrived, lower league team. People talk about the FA Cup and what it does to football and teams, and you've seen a great example in the second half, but shouldn't have been like that, should it, from 3-0 up?
Yeah, for sure we will aim that the game would be cleaner and could be cleaner, but again, it's never easy. You know what is the FA Cup, and cup game are always difficult. We come to a difficult pitch, and the most important thing is to win the game, so we did it.
Now, obviously, usually I would ask you this in an interview when we had more time to sit down, but your ambitions for this loan spell must be quite high, because you must have been frustrated at Hamburg to not play more games. So what have you been told by the manager or Johannes, or what have you discussed about your game time here? Because we're all expecting you to be in the team every week.
Yes, well, I'm expecting to play for sure. I have to keep performing, because when you are not perform, then you will not play. So I'm coming and I will do my best, and hopefully I can help the team achieve their goals.
Saints goalkeeper Daniel Peretz speaking to Adam Blackmore. More reaction is on BBC Sounds, by the way, by searching for Southampton. In terms of non-league action yesterday, Eastleigh's game against Southport was postponed in the FA Trophy 4th round, as was Tottenham's trip to Chesham United in the National League South. In the Southern League Premier South, wins for Gosport, also Sholing, Dorchester losing at home to Uxbridge, and Wimborne picking up a point at home against Basingstoke. Elsewhere in non-league action, Bashley lost on the road at Mousehole. Shaftesbury got a good win against Bishop's Cleeve, and Winchester fell to a 3-1 home defeat in Southern League Division 1 South. And in the Isthmian League South Central, it was a 4-3 defeat for Fareham at Hayes and Yedding. And last night at St Mary's in the Women's Football WSL 2, Southampton 4, Portsmouth 0. Keep your thoughts coming in, by the way. Pompey 1, Arsenal 2 at half-time. John Fitzpatrick says a brilliant start to the game, only losing by a goal. We're still in this FA Cup tie. Come on, Pompey. And David says easier for Arsenal to score from a set piece instead of a penalty. Says it all about Portsmouth's season. Set piece coach definitely needed. Let's head back for second half commentary at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 2. Mark Kelly is alongside your commentator Andy Moo.
We have Portsmouth and now we have Arsenal back out for the second half, and just looking down, I can't see any changes unless, Mark Kelly, you've spotted some that I haven't.
No, I can't see it, Andy, no.
So looks like you just wonder, is Shaughnessy going to play 90 minutes with a 3 game starting in 6 days' time? I'll have to find out about that. But Pompey trailing Arsenal by 2-1 here on BBC Radio Solent and BBC Sounds in the FA Cup. Pompey usual home colours, going from right to left in this second half, and they've got into a huddle and Colby Bishop saying, tell them to get on with it. And they break out the huddle in their red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and white socks.
Good Pompey lads all ready to go, just waiting for the huddle to finish.
Right. They are going from left to right, so Pompey going towards the Fratton end, Arsenal towards the Milton end in this second half. The whistle has gone, and Eze fires it straight back to Kepa, as is often the way with these kickoffs at the moment. Header won by Ume, that's going to go out of play. Arsenal throw on the far side as we look, which is the left, midway inside the Pompey half. The rain is swirling around Fratton Park, and there's a few people in the north stand, particularly in those front few rows, who are a bit slow to return to their seats, and I don't massively blame them because there's not a lot of shelter there. They are very much at the mercy of the conditions.
Well, hopefully the game will warm them up, Andy, right?
Well, I tell you what, I think they'll be fairly warm from that first half.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty decent effort.
David James just making an appearance down there. He's obviously doing some commentary.
Former Portsmouth and England goalkeeper, as Pompey have the ball at the back. I'll go through the 11s for both sides in a minute. Unchanged, as I said, is shocked to see find Swanson on that left-hand side. Going down the line, looking towards Segicic. White falls to the ground, wants to throw, doesn't get it. Ben White, who's born in Poole and actually released by Southampton at the age of 16, which doesn't look the smartest move 10 years down the line.
Not a great choice, no.
Brighton sold him to Arsenal for £50 million.
Not a great choice at all.
Could fund your academy for a few years, that one. Right, throw down the line from Swanson. Ball headed in field by White, and then it's up in the air. Bishop trying to get on the end of it. Pompey just can't quite steal it outside the Arsenal penalty area. LaRue to Swanson, headed forward. Bishop helps it on. Segicic being held, wants a free kick, doesn't get one. LaRue goes aggressively to try and win the ball back and can't, and then commits quite a cynical foul, which he gets away with nothing more than a free kick midway inside the Arsenal half.
Quite clever play, to be honest. He knew the lad was away. It's just brought him down. It's clever play.
So 2-1 Arsenal lead. Pompey with Bersic in goal. Devlin, Paul, Shaughnessy and Swanson the back four. Dazelle and LaRue sitting in midfield. Segicic, Chaplin and Blair. The three behind Bishop up front. The subs, Ben Killip, Jordan Williams, Conor Ogilvie, Marlon Pack, John Swift, Franco Ume, who is of course on, so it's not Blair on the left, it is Ume, Bam Boat, Jacob Farrell and Mackenzie Kirk make up that Portsmouth bench as Portsmouth force Arsenal back inside their own half, and Arsenal trying to work it down that left-hand side. Touch from Eze, but no one had read it, so it went into empty space that Pompey could get on the end of. Fortunate touch from Bishop, finds Chaplin, that's unlucky, trying to spread the ball out to Segicic on this left-hand side.
Yeah, it is unlucky, just trying to get the game moving quickly, and just unfortunately Segicic didn't quite make it.
Arsenal with Kepa in goal, Ben White, Christian Norgard, Gabriel and Miles Lewis-Skelly the back four, Ethan Waneri, Mikel Marino and Ebere Eze the three in midfield. Gabriel Jesus is flanked by Gabriel Martinelli and Noni Madueke up front. David Raya, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Jurriën Timber, Victor Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, Martin Zubamendi, Declan Rice and young Marley Salmon are the Arsenal subs as Devlin wins the ball well for Pompey and immediately looks to get them going, looking for Bishop, chesting it down for Segicic outside the Arsenal penalty area. Segicic has got Bishop left corner of the box. Segicic making a run, being flanked all the way by White, trying to get himself round White. He does, and he wins Pompey a corner kick.
Yeah, a really good play from Bishop and Segicic, to be fair. Lovely little combination. Nice little back heel to try and get him round, and he's won himself a corner.
White was all in on that challenge. Right, every corner in this game has led to a goal up to this point.
Well, hopefully it stays that way.
Segicic to deliver for Portsmouth. 2-1 the Arsenal lead. Left-footed outswinger. 4 to come in a train from the centre circle. Surely you go Shaughnessy near post here. That's the one that's worked for Pompey. Ball goes near post. It's in towards that near post, and it's played across. A chance, and it's blocked by White. Chaplin's effort, that's really good play by White. Got himself in the right position, brave as well, as Pompey Arsenal try and break forward, and Swanson's completely got away with that yellow card.
Yeah,
another challenge, Pompey get away with one.
Totally took him out there to slow the game down, and as you say, got away with a yellow card, but it's a great effort. Connor Chaplin, you'd put money on him. It's a great block, isn't it? Times it well, stands up well.
Doesn't
great
panic.
Block, doesn't panic.
Ball is back to Kepa, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Plays it across to Marino. And Arsenal under pressure again. This is where Pompey had success in the first half, but Swanson's deemed to be too physical of Madueke, and the supporters in the front of the South Stand make their frustrations clear.
Yeah, it's just all added to the atmosphere, Andy. This is what Pompey needs. Get them under pressure, get them on the back foot again, and that's what they're doing early. They're trying to get that press back involved, where they don't give them any time, any space to work.
Norgard goes short to Marino, and Marino is looking to work it over to the left-hand side. Tony Harrington is the referee, and Arsenal come forward over halfway. Waneri, and the ball is won by Chaplin, but not legitimately, says the referee, and Arsenal are quick to get going, and Jesus is into the area, across the face of goal, chance, 3-1. Martinelli, a perfectly weighted ball from Gabriel Jesus, and Martinelli sliding in, gets his second of the game, 10 minutes into the second half. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 3.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that old thing, you can't switch off. Exactly what Portsmouth did. Chaplin had to make he made the tackle, gave the free kick away, but Pompey were walking away. Somebody needs to stand on the ball at that time, slow the game down. Arsenal put it down, they play a quick one. It's a ball down the line, ball into the box, it's in the back of the net. Disappointing, Andy. That's the type of thing you've got to keep concentration and playing against teams of this level.
It was Brazilian international to Brazilian international. It's a brilliant ball from Jesus. Perfectly weighted.
It's a great ball. He's got so much time to do it though, Andy. Martinelli, good run off the back. Great finish.
Olympic gold medalist with Brazil, Martinelli. And it's 3-1. And you'd have to say it's a long way back from here for Pompey. Despite what we've seen for 55 minutes has been committed with heart and soul, as Bishop tries to control it down by the dead ball line and just kicks it hard at Ben White's head, to which it ricochets behind for a corner. Well, Ben White wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy, but it certainly worked for him.
So Pompey's second corner on the left-hand side caused problems with the first one. What can they do with the second? Left-footed outswinger from Segicic. High, deep towards the far post. Bishop trying to get there, and he climbed over his man and couldn't get the contact he wanted. Still there for Pompey, down by the corner flag on the right-hand side. Ball goes behind, and it will be another corner kick to Pompey on the right, so the pressure continues. Left-footed in-swinger to come. Pompey are massing at the far post. What have Pompey got worked here? Both corners have been fairly effective. Referee says there's too much pushing and shoving going on. Ume's on the goalkeeper. Paul's trying to get away from Gabriel, and the referee blows his whistle, tells him to stop pushing, and shortly after that the pushing will restart again when he walks away, as is the way. Our replay feed from BBC Towers has gone down as Pompey whip this corner in towards the near post. Good one, flapping at it again, but headed away by Arsenal. And Madueke is trying to drive away from two, and Chaplin stops him, and a free kick is given Arsenal's way. And Michael Doyle joins John Messino in having a word with the fourth official, Lee Doughty, there. Free kick Arsenal inside their own half.
Yeah, absolutely. He knew what he was doing. Chaplin had to go and try and get committed to the tackle. He just towed it and timed it, and wasn't much in it, but it's just a simple coming together. And Pompey fans not happy with, especially Arteta making all those gestures with his hands. I think the Pompey fans just letting him know.
Ball in behind, looking to Madueke, and half of the South Stand indicated it was offside before the assistant referee's flag went up. Yeah. Offside is the decision. Free kick Pompey, 3-1 Arsenal.
It's always that little delay, isn't it, where you're waiting for the whistle to go, but as I say, the South Stand just letting the linesman know that they know it's offside.
Ball is cleared long, looking towards Bishop for Portsmouth, who does win the flick on. Arsenal get to the second ball, but Bishop will get there and try and nod it down, looking for Chaplin with Segicic in the vicinity. Shocked to see does get past Jesus but misses the ball, so Arsenal will keep, I say, coming forward. Jesus goes across halfway, then goes back, then dummies to go forward again, and then falls over, almost takes the ball out of play with him, and Pompey keep Arsenal under a bit of pressure as the ball is going to head back towards Kepa, and Arsenal looking to try and build from the back under pressure from Portsmouth. Madueke gets a bit lucky with his touch to get a second bite at the cherry and find Nwaneri, and that's LaRue is going to go into the book for that challenge, and Arsenal trying to break forward, but LaRue shown a yellow card. They'll have to stop.
So looking at where we are, Andy, and what's going on, is it going to be long before we see Boat maybe Shaughnessy? Maybe that change will happen, and you're just going to look. They're going to have to try and cover him a little bit, I think.
3-1 Arsenal lead. We are hitting the hour mark as the ball over towards that left-hand side for Arsenal, 20 yards from goal, and Arsenal being forced back down the pitch, and a free kick given in Martinelli's favour, and again the home fans. This is the hostile Fratton Park that we like.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see why. There's a lot of pressing, there's a lot of harrowing, there's a lot of arms going in, but not over major free kicks. There's no contacts, there's no connections, and the Fratton faithful just getting a bit frustrated, I think, because I think the referee just giving too easy decisions.
So Pompey with a set piece to defend, and ball is, instead they work it centrally and now trying to come forward. Miles Lewis-Skelly out to the left hand side. It's Ben White, 40 yards from goal, brings it forward. He might want to shoot from here, instead chips into the area. It's a good delivery, good aggression from Regan Poole to win that, and Pompey think about the counter-attack with Swanson, but his ball forward won't go to a blue shirt. It's Arsenal who pick it up. They're swarming over Pompey, leading 3-1 outside the penalty area. This is well worked. Chance hits the back of Shaughnessy, who will get it away from Nwaneri, and then White gets there ahead of Segacic on the right. Ben White, what can he do? Infield, it's Madueke. Madueke gets it back. It's really congested. Madueke goes down, and the referee says the ball was won, and it's through and into the arms of Joe Percy.
There was no contact, to be fair. Pompey standing strong, but Arsenal pressing, putting more pressure on that Portsmouth back line now, Andy. You can see they're really starting to get committed to what they're trying to do.
3-1, and just see perhaps the amount Pompey have given in this game is going to be count against them in the final half an hour, as Chaplin goes back to Bursic and clears long, headed up in the air by Gabriel, and Ume is chasing it, and the ball goes out of play, and it'll be an Arsenal throw midway inside their own half. And a few players got a bit close to the north stand, and you don't really want to do that, and you don't get this at the Emirates.
No, they won't be getting this atmosphere, that's for sure.
So Portsmouth are trailing Arsenal by 3-1. BBC Radio Solent Sport, as the ball is out for an Arsenal throw up near halfway on the left hand side. Throw is taken short, and touch from Eze, and now Arsenal have it back with Kepa and working along the back line. White looks for Madueke, who's deep inside his own half, and is surely fouled by Swanson there. And the attendance didn't quite get to the 21,000, but 20,611, including 3,063 away fans.
I think looking down at Pompey's bench, there's a few people getting stripped. Ogilvy's getting stripped. It looks like Marlon Pack's getting stripped as well, Andy, so subs on the way.
Arsenal trying to work their way in behind. Madueke with a clever flip to the right. LaRue can't get there ahead of Nwaneri. Nwaneri plays it off LaRue, and it goes behind, and it'll be a throw to Arsenal on the right hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area, which Ben White was going to take. 3-1. 2 for Martinelli. BBC Radio Solent Sport. Arsenal breaking into Pompey's penalty area. Flick to Nwaneri. Challenge comes in from Pompey. Shaughnessy trying to prevent a corner and can't. And Arsenal have their third corner of the game, having scored in their last two.
Manweri there, he's gone to bring it down. I thought that was a handball, to be fair, and he's got his arms up high, plays off his arm, but just hits a Pompey player and goes off. But as you say, now can Pompey defend this corner and get where they need to go? I think they're trying to make a few subs, but I think they'll take the corner first.
Left-footed in swing to come from Madueke. The near post has been the weak point for Pompey. Can they deal with this one? Delivery to come in. Again, everyone runs across the goal for Arsenal. Into that near post. Head goes up and it's behind. And Portsmouth celebrate surviving an Arsenal corner as it's a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a right chair, wasn't it? But as I say, you can see Pack and Ogilvie getting ready to come on.
Ball is at the feet of Bursic, Portsmouth goalkeeper, all in yellow. Nothing he can have done about any of the goals. With 20 minutes into the second half, as Bishop flicks it on to Segicic, 3-1 Arsenal lead, and Arsenal have it at the back, and Ben White goes back to Kepa. Pompey continue to try and press. To what degree can they keep that intensity going for how long, as Devlin misjudges a long ball, and Miles Lewis-Skelly does not get the free kick he wants, and Devlin tries an early cross to Segicic at the far post, and White just volleys it behind, and Pompey have themselves another corner kick. 3-1.
It's great play by Terry Devlin. He's endeavour, it's what he's all about. Goes and presses and wins it. They both fall over, he gets up, he goes again, good ball in, fast stick. Segicic can't quite make it. White has to turn it behind for a corner.
Segicic to take, Pack and Ogilvie stripped and ready to come on at the next break in play. Segicic, the Australian, former Sydney man, prepares deep towards the far post. Swanson gets his head down. Dazelle trying to get on the end to it, can't. Arsenal half clear it away. That wasn't a particularly good ball to Luke LaRue, and it's all the way back to Bursic, who'll fire it forward with his left foot, looking towards Ume, who was offside. Flag goes up. Arsenal free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and now the double change can be made.
Yeah, that ball in just takes pressure off the Arsenal back four and Shaw. Now the substitute's going to happen for Pompey.
So Luke LaRue off, Marlon Pack on. You know Marlon Pack would have been desperate to play in this game. And Connor Shocknessy off, Connor Ogilvie on. So Connor Ogilvie's return to Pompey is going to be as a centre half.
Yeah, it's good to see Connor back, to be fair. Definitely a senior player we need back in the squad, Andy, for sure.
And you'd say this means there's a pretty good chance that he may well be able to start next week away at Sheffield Wednesday for that huge game next Saturday on BBC Radio Solent Sport, on air at 2 o'clock at Hillsborough. And a busy week because Pompey go to Watford on the Wednesday, and then there is the small matter of Southampton making the journey to Fratton Park, which will be 2 weeks today for a 12 o'clock kickoff. BBC Radio Solent on air from 10 with all the build-up and of course live commentary of the latest chapter of the South Coast derby. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 3, BBC Radio Solent Sport. Good flick on that one by Bishop, and Ume trying to get on the end of it, and Miles Lewis-Skelly adamant he got the ball, he got the man as well. The referee happy he got enough of the ball. Plenty of time after the game today to wrap up this game, try and get some live reaction from the touchline from John Bassino and from the Pompey playing squad. And your text, tweets, WhatsApp messages, all very, very welcome.
Just looking at Colby Bishop, he's done that well today, Andy. He's got amongst the two centre halves. He's just, he's making himself a nuisance. He's on it again there now. He's done quite well for me this afternoon.
Mark, 3-1 down going into the final quarter of the game. You'd love to get another goal and make it tense, but more than anything, you don't want Arsenal to put another couple of goals away and make this game look different to how it was as Swanson comes forward, but his shot is deflected.
No, you don't. You're absolutely right. That's why I think they've got to keep the high press intensity, keep trying to go about the way they're doing it. If you can nick another one, it's game on, isn't it? It's one of those things. Get one from the corner or whatever. They've just got to keep trying to apply the pressure that they're applying.
Swanson coming down the left-hand side. He's got Segicic ahead of them. Pompey on the attack. Well forward. Segicic. Through the legs of Ben White, who just pushes Segicic over. Surely that's a yellow card. How's he got away with that one? He's a spiky character, Ben White. He didn't like that.
Wow, he's been totally megged. Segacic has sat him down, to be fair, and how he hasn't gone in the book for that. It's a total blatant push and frustration.
We're saying that yellow cards don't count towards league suspensions. You get a one match ban if you get 2 yellow cards in the FA Cup. So it doesn't. If Pompey lose today, any yellow cards are effectively an irrelevance. Segacic prepares to send a left-footed cross in. He's not happy exactly with what he sees. Now he will deliver it. Segacic, it's not into a bad area. Arsenal win the first header. That's why they're so good at set pieces. It's not just their attacking, because I don't really think Segacic can do any more with that ball. Ume, can he get a good delivery in? He can, but Gabriel will head it away.
Yeah, they defend so strongly, but Pompey can't keep asking the questions, Andy. Got to keep asking. You might get a deflection, might get a knockdown, pick things up. Got to keep going at it, and I don't think Pompey are going to let up here, because if they can feel they can get back into the game.
Pack to Chaplin, and now to Ogilvie on the left-hand side, and a chance to bring the ball forward. Pompey trailing by 3-1. Swanson to Segacic outside the penalty area. Segacic is not going to get his way again, because there's a double team for Arsenal, and Wanieri wins it. And now Eze will drive forward, and he'll look to try and get Gabriel Jesus away, and Paul comes across and got the ball and then collided with Jesus, and the referee says that was okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to get up and run that one off. Good time tackle from Paul.
Gazelle trying to get Segacic in behind. It's not a bad delivery, but White in position to deal with it. Bishop now trying to put Arsenal under some pressure. They want to try and play their way out from the back, and they get it back to Kepa, who's waiting to see if Pompey will press. Good noise levels inside Fratton Park. They've enjoyed what they've seen from their side today, and Arsenal give it away, and Bishop outside the penalty area with a shot blocked behind. Another Pompey corner kick, still 3-1.
I actually think they still think there could be something in this, Andy, to be honest with you, because once Pompey are playing, they're pressing, they're winning the ball back, there's some good commitment. Arsenal, they defend well, they defend the balls of the box coming in, but Pompey just got to keep trying to knock on that door and see if they can get another one.
Triple change coming up for Arsenal. Corner taken short to Chaplin. Arsenal are all over that, and they've won it, and they're thinking about a breakaway, and this is dangerous here, and there's 3 red shirts and only 3 blue ones back. Paul does well just to slow things down, but the danger is not over yet. Outside the penalty area, Madueke up against Ogilvie, coming in field in his favoured left foot, and he runs into a challenge, but Arsenal still have it, and there's still danger in the penalty area from a tight angle. Jesus over there now by the byline, he pulls it back, not brilliantly there for Marino. Now on the edge of the penalty area, ball is going to be stood up to the far post, should be Bursix. It's a terrible cross from Lewis Skinner.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a breakout for Pompey. Segacic on his way.
Driving forward, Arsenal flooding back as well. Segacic past one, he's not going to get past White as well, is he? Yes, and this time White will go into the book.
Yeah, that was a matter of time, and it's come. It's clever play from Segacic again, just puts his body across him. White has to take him down.
3-1, and good intensity and good feel about this cup tie. Is the triple Arsenal change coming? We're going to see Jurriën Timber, Martin Odegaard, and for the first time since the opening month of the season, Kai Havertz has not played since getting injured against Manchester United. Havertz is coming on, Gabriel Jesus coming off.
Replaced by number 29, Kai Havertz. Number 4, Ben White.
Ben White is coming off. Jurriën Timber coming on. And Martin Odegaard is coming on for Ethan Wanieri, who could see on the south coast, if rumours are to be believed, possible loan spell. So I don't think Ben White's enjoyed this second half too much.
No, but listen, he's just been booked, so he's got to go off. It's sensible enough, isn't it, from the Arsenal bench? He's on his yellow card. He's not happy. He's thrown his coat around. He's not happy at all.
He definitely strikes as that kind of player.
Yeah.
Right, caught a free kick to come into the box to the far post. Did that take an Arsenal touch behind? No. So just a goal kick as we approach the final 15 minutes of this game, with the score still 3-1 in Arsenal's favour on BBC Radio, Solent and BBC Sounds. Kepa to take the goal kick. Looks like Pompey are preparing Jordan Williams and John Swift as their final changes. Long ball sent forward and Ogilvie wins a header, and a foul committed by Segacic, who's definitely getting in and amongst it, and a free kick to Arsenal halfway.
He is putting himself around, and it's been a good spell last 10 minutes for Pompey, I think, to be honest with you. Arsenal haven't looked anywhere near like they're going to cause a problem, really, Andy. It's been all kind of Portsmouth on the front foot, but now they've got to concentrate. Arsenal on the break.
Lewis Skelly coming forward looking for Eze, 30 yards out. He's got an option out to the left-hand side as well, as Arsenal work it back. 40 yards from Portsmouth's goal. Ball played in behind, really well watched by Ume there. It was a good run from Eze. Now Pompey looking to try and break forward, and Bishop looking for Segacic, who wanted a ball played in behind. Bishop plays it out to the wing, where Segacic gathers it and then loses possession. He looks pretty tired, the young Australian, and now there's danger because Madueke's into the penalty area. Chance for a fourth for Arsenal. Really good opportunity, deflects, and wide for a corner kick, still 3-1.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. Stood up from Paul again. Great time tackle again, just stood his ground, had to slide, but here we go, another Arsenal corner.
14 FA Cup wins in their history, Arsenal, 7 coming this century. Last one in 2020, as left-footed in-swinging corner to come from Madueke. Pompey survived the last one. Can they survive this one? Keep just about clinging into this game by their fingertips. Left-footed in-swing delivery to the near post again. Arsenal win the header, and it's into the net. And Martinelli is going to take the match ball home. It's a third goal from a corner for Arsenal. A third goal in the game for Gabriel Martinelli. He gets double figures for the season. It's Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4.
Absolutely the same as in the first half. Exactly the same goal. Near post, flick, free header, comes onto it. All they're doing, Andy, they're flooding the back post. They're all running to the front post, hoping to get them flick-ons and second bits. Totally won it all day long, and it's a really, really disappointment element for Portsmouth.
For Portsmouth, Adrian Segacic is coming off. John Swift is the man coming on. And Zach Swanson is coming on for Jordan Williams. It's interesting that Jacob Farrell on the bench and Jordan Williams being preferred in these last 10 minutes at left back to Jacob Farrell, who of course is a left back. I know he's struggled with fitness.
Yeah, I think that goes down to seniority, really. Williams, you know, he's an experienced player and probably needs some minutes himself, Andy, you know.
Ume trying to get onto a long ball where he could have caused some problems, and he couldn't, and the ball's behind for an Arsenal goal kick. So 4-1, and we have 13 minutes plus stoppage time remaining on BBC Radio Solent Sport. Arsenal will be ball number 17 in tomorrow's fourth round draw. 08000 321 333 is our WhatsApp number. Save it in your phone as BBC Radio Solent and make Solent the first word. You also need to make Solent your first word if you text us on 81333, and at Solent Sport is where you can find us on social media. Let us know your verdict. Portsmouth taking the lead through Colby Bishop in the 3rd minute, but heading out of the FA Cup. They are 4-1 down now as Pat wins a ball high up the pitch, but John Swift can't get on the end of it, and Arsenal win it. And Kepa tries to get them going again. Here's Jurian Timber, takes a touch, and now Odegaard tries to break forward, and Odegaard taking his time. 4-1 the score. BBC Radio Solent Sport and BBC Sounds. As reaction to come live on the radio after the game, and up on BBC Sounds of course, as Lewis Kelly comes down this left-hand side. Arsenal breaking into the penalty area, ball across the face of goal. No one can get on the end of it, and it'll be picked up by Timber on the right-hand side, up against Ume, back just inside the penalty area. Here's Kai Havertz. The German goes back, and Marino with a nice touch to Madueke, trying to get away from Ogilvie, and he can't, but it is another corner kick.
Yeah, Arsenal in control now, aren't they? Another corner kick. Can we defend this one? They haven't changed what they're doing, Andy. They're flooding the back stick. They'll all come to the near. Have we switched on? Can we clue into it? But they're certainly taking control of this last 5 minutes.
Right, we are going to see Marley Salmon come on for the final few minutes for Arsenal. Young centre-half, 16 years of age. And as the corner about to come in. And it's to the far post this time, and Pompey win the header. And there's another cheer, because for the second time this game, out of 5, Pompey defend a corner without conceding.
Yeah, it's a bit of an irony, of course, but yeah, frustrating, especially the way the game's gone. I think, Portsmouth have been really in it, in free play, in open play. They've done really well. They've attained themselves. They've pressed well at right times, but unfortunately those set pieces have absolutely killed us all afternoon.
And the 3 goals from set pieces are why Arsenal have that 3-goal lead. So Marley Salmon comes on. He has played in the League Cup and the Champions League before. On he comes, and you would probably know the rules better than me, but my understanding is 16-year-olds have to change separately from the rest of the team for safeguarding reasons.
Yeah. You have to bring your safeguard officer as well. It's all part of that now, which is it's all part of the protection of young children, of course, and that's exactly where it should be.
Well, he's on the pitch now, and he slots into Arsenal's back line as the ball goes behind. It's a Pompey goal kick into that final 10 minutes. 4-1 is the lead. Martinelli will take the match ball home as Bursic clears long for Portsmouth. Williams tries to nod it forward. That huge game next Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday, and of course preview material to come on BBC Sounds during the week, and the latest Who Needs Mourinho episode will be out on BBC Sounds as well. Search the word Portsmouth and make sure you click subscribe. Declan Rice puts a coat on down on the touchline. It's getting a bit chilly in this second half.
It is dropped, absolutely it's dropped. And Arsenal fans in full voice now, Andy. You can hear them in full voice down there.
Dazelle has got the ball in midfield, and now Portsmouth are going to play it forward. Bishop is battling Timber for the ball, and Arsenal coming down the right hand side. Madueke, 4-1 Arsenal lead. Ball is worked back to young Marley Salmon, 16 years of age. How old were you in your debut? 17?
17, yeah.
17. It's quite a thing for a teenager to experience. Fratton Park, Swift. Oh, I thought there was a chance to play Ume through there. Instead, that's a good looking ball to Devlin, 25 yards out. He's going to hit this one here, Devlin. He strikes it well, and Kepa claws it behind for a Portsmouth corner, 4-1.
Yeah, great strike from Devlin. Good timing. Goalkeeper, he's forced the goalkeeper, made good save. Pompey corner.
Be a left-footed in swinger for Portsmouth. Live reaction to come after the game. We'll get the latest on the transfer situation. Connor Chaplin. Ball is sent into the danger area. Indication so far is that Ipswich are not going to recall him, and they will have to do so this week if they wish to, as the ball to Ogilvie on the left-hand side is picked up 30 yards out. Ogilvie, and that's a firm challenge from Marley Salmon, but Ogilvie not the kind of person to be too concerned by physical challenges, as ball to Bishop finds Ogilvie, whipped in towards the near post, loose on the edge of the box. Swift wants a touch, and he drags his shot wide when he does get his effort on goal.
Yeah, just snatched it, good ball in. Well played for Bishop again. Bishop holding his man. Feet in, Ogilvie with the cross. Swifty just needed to take a touch really, but snatched at it. Ball goes wide.
Well, talked about the Charlton game potentially being rearranged, but there might not be any need, because Sheffield United in the second half are 3-1 down to Mansfield Town.
Oh, wow.
So Sheffield United might be coming as scheduled on Valentine's Day here to Fratton Park as the offside flag goes up against Arsenal. who lead Portsmouth by 4-1. And we're into the final 7 minutes here. Leeds beating Derby 3-1 earlier in the day, as it's cleared long by Bursic. And loose ball in midfield is going to come to Jordan Williams. And Williams skips away from one challenge from Havertz. Well, this is nice from Williams. His mazy run ends at 2 defenders beaten as he then loses the ball.
Yeah, there was 4 there. You know, he's got to get his head up at some point.
He was halfway through the 4. Crossfield ball is played, and Devlin is too strong for Martinelli, and Devlin launches one down the touchline. Bishop is going to chase. The fact Bishop's going to get the best part of 90 minutes, if not all of them, kind of shows his impressive robustness. He'll be delighted to be back on the score sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what he needed, especially today. That'll give him the confidence, I think, going to the next 4 or 5 games through January.
One more change coming for Arsenal. They go to Chelsea on Wednesday in the first leg of the League Cup, and they go to Nottingham Forest on Saturday in the Premier League, and then it's a trip to the San Siro coming after that. Martin Zubamendi is coming on as Arsenal come down the left-hand side and look to cause more problems with Martinelli in the central area to Odegaard to this right-hand side. Noni Madueke up against Williams and Ume, so just go back to Salmon, and Arsenal have it midway inside the Portsmouth half. Odegaard going back from the right to the left across the pitch. Nice flick in field. Well, I say nice flick. It was an attractive looking flick in field from Eze.
It wasn't going anywhere.
Just went straight to a Pompey player.
Absolutely. He didn't really look while he did it.
So it's launched long, and Bishop won't get on the end of that one. Odegaard, you might remember the young prodigy who signed for Real Madrid at 17, made his senior debut in Norway at 15. He drives forward for Arsenal, edge of the penalty area. Eze hits one, good save, Bursic.
Yeah, good strong save from Bursic, good reactions. Eze, great touch, great strike, but here comes another Arsenal corner.
Can Pompey deal with it? Substitute coming first. Gabriel Martinelli is coming off. And Martinelli off, Zubamendi on. Feels like Arsenal is shutting up shop here, Mark.
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it, really? But I think they'll be happy with their day's work, Andy, and they'll take it and they'll move on.
4-1 is the score.
It's going to be interesting now with how we mark and how we pick up from here. My 8 and 10 I can see, but just looking for me number 9. I think Big Colby Bishop is the key here. Can he mark that front post? We're going to need him.
So corner kick to come in. Arsenal 6 of the game. They've scored 3 goals from the previous 5. Madueke taking his time over this delivery. Bishop in that near post area, and it comes towards that near post area, and there is Paul to head it away. And Ume, oh no, not only is he, oh dear, oh no, Une has gone down as if his hamstring's gone, and just when you thought Pompey are getting through a game like this without any further injuries, Ume goes down, and this is just going to leave a bitter taste, Mark, because now unless it's cramp or it's up in his, above his hamstring in the glutes, but the way he's gone down looks like hamstring, doesn't it?
It certainly didn't look like that, Andy, did he? He went straight down straight away. Yeah, he looked like he was running, and it was just one of those, he went to slide, and it kind of looks like, you know, he'd been shot really. It was one of those, it was a pull up, so it does look pretty serious, and he looks in a bit of pain down there for sure.
Well, this is just his second senior appearance, and he was only on in the 40th minute because of the injury to Harvey Blair, and we talked about the attacking problems and the Lang and Murphy out, and maybe the next 2 cabs off the rank in Blair and Ume going down in this game as well, and Pompey just cannot afford that. They need attacking reinforcements to come in this week.
Yeah, they really do. It's becoming a real problem at this moment in time.
Well, the look on Ume's face tells it all. You feel for the young man as Arsenal come forward again and look to try and break in towards the penalty area, and Pompey have made all 5 subs, so they will end the game with 10 men as Arsenal try and weave their way through into the penalty area. They've gotten the edge of Pompey's box as we are into minute 89 of the game. Remember, the highlights of this game will be up on the BBC Sport website not long after full time as Odegaard comes into the penalty area, and of course you'll get them on BBC South Today tomorrow as the shot comes in. A chance for Eze. Oh, he's made a mess of that. In fact, was it a good challenge? Devlin and Eze combined. Eze saying I should have a penalty. Devlin saying ouch, my knee. and it's a corner kick.
That was a strong tackle from Devlin. Good times again. He was waiting for it to come down. Devlin got his foot there first, and they come in. It was a clash. I think it was a clash.
You're colliding your knee with another knee is quite painful, but it doesn't last for too long, at least.
No, Devlin's back on his feet again.
So reaction after this game, reaction on BBC Sounds, and reaction in the breakfast show with Alan Newman from 6 tomorrow. Sport every half an hour from 7 o'clock. Right. Can Pompey? If Pompey see out this corner, they've defended more successfully than they've conceded from. In it comes, near post again. Bursic doesn't get there. There's a host of bodies.
It's another
corner.
Yep.
That doesn't count as seeing one out to me. You get another corner. So
it's not really a great stat anyway, Andy.
No.
It's not something to be overpleased about. But
Mansfield have got a fourth. Wow. So forget all this rearrangement against Charlton. That game is going to go ahead as scheduled on the 14th of February. Into the near post, headed away by Bishop, and Chaplin wins a header. Odegaard is going to pick it up and get the ball back to Kepa, who finds Miles Lewis-Skelly, who, I have to say, hasn't impressed too much as he returned today. A 4-1 defeat, there's no shame in that, but 2 more injuries picked up is a problem for Pompey. Odegaard trying to send a ball forward. Paul gets something on it. Ogilvie there as well. And Pompey should be able to get this one away, as we should have seen how many minutes of added time were added on. I must admit, I didn't look. And we're into stoppage time now with the ball back with Joe Bursic. Paul to the right-hand side to Devlin. And Paul will clear that ball forward. Bishop falls to the ground and wins the cheapest free kick you're going to get. If it was 1-0 to Pompey and that ball was sent forward and Bishop fell over like that, do you think I'm going to guess maybe not?
Maybe not. But it's tired legs as well. He's run a lot today, Bishop. I think he just kind of fell into that one.
Kind of nice for Pompey. There's not a midweek game, this one coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they need the time now to look at their injuries and sort themselves out a little bit. They desperately need the time, really.
We're into stoppage time. It is 4-1 in favour of Arsenal. There's been a lot to like about the energy and the intensity about the way Pompey have played today. Caused Arsenal problems, but 3 goals from set pieces. It's always going to be difficult to survive that. And 2 more injuries picked up, and we'll get John Messino's take on that after the game. Arsenal have got the ball at the back, and they work it out to this right-hand side to Marley Salmon. Pompey fans making some noise. We've seen frustration at final whistles recently. I don't think we're going to see that today, because I think there's going to be an appreciation of the effort that they've put in. I'll go down and get John Messino's first take live on the touchline. A lot of national media here today. Suspect they will probably be more erring towards the Mikel Arteta post-match reaction than John Messino. As Arsenal bring the ball forward, Mikel Arteta won 2 FA Cups as a player. He'd like to get second as a manager, although you think their real priority this season is going to be about winning the Premier League, which they've waited so long for. Here's Odegaard outside the penalty area. Been in and out the side a bit, Odegaard, this season, as he finds Madueke trying to go around the outside of Williams. He's quick. Madueke goes down, and he's not getting a penalty this time, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick.
No, it's, was there contact? Wasn't there? He's got past him, Williams, but I think he was looking for it a little bit as well, and that's why the referee's turned away.
Might as well just blow the whistle. I think everyone.
I think that's where it is.
Take the day as it is.
Yeah.
Bursic to clear the ball forward into Arsenal territory. You just feel Pompey, completely understandably, somewhat just run out of that bit of puff and the intensity that they had in that first half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that the goals have gone in, it just wears it down a little bit, doesn't it? And but absolutely, from free play, Pompey can be really pleased with what's gone on this afternoon for sure. It's just the worrying bits about the set pieces, Andy. I know Arsenal are strong, but it's been a real concern all season for us.
And it has been, the near post area was the problem against Sheffield United. That is that area that has caused problems.
Absolutely, and as I said, Martinelli, two flicks. He's not the biggest lad in the world, but he's able to get free headers at near post, and just not good signs really.
Ball is in over to this right hand side for Odegaard, and ball has worked back to Salmon. Pompey fans making some noise heard as we head towards the final whistle at Fratton Park. On BBC Radio Solent to BBC Sounds, Arsenal looking for a fifth. Odegaard into the penalty area, chance for Arsenal. It's worked back to Madueke, who missed that penalty to the far post. Headed up in the air by Devlin, not away yet. They're queuing up outside the penalty area, shot comes in, and when it does, it's not very good, and it's well wide, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, so there was a big slice on it. Put the ball down. 3 minutes to play.
3 minutes of added time, and we are into those 3 minutes now. As Bursic clears it forward, looking for Bishop, and Salmon is going to nod that back to Kepa, who again probably not having the day, hasn't had anything to do really in the second half, but just hasn't looked particularly assured, has he?
Not at all. He wasn't happy in the first half. He was flapping at a few things. It just didn't look confident, but I think his team's got him out of jail this afternoon, Andy, that's for sure.
Eze looking into the penalty area, angles tight for Havertz, and he loses out to a combination of Ogilvie and Devlin, and Pompey clear it forward. Ball over on the left-hand side as Arsenal come forward, leading Portsmouth by 4 goals to 1. Odegaard looks to increase the pace and drive forward. There's 8 blue shirts behind the ball, into the box, and then fizzed across the 6-yard box. No one had a chance of getting on the end of that one, overhit and behind for a goal kick.
That's all he was trying to do. Nice intent, just needed a little bit of touch and feel to it, blasted it. Portsmouth goal kick.
Ball is at the feet of Bursic inside the 6-yard box. Pompey have lost 5 FA Cup ties in a row against Premier League sides. They're going to make this 6th. The last Premier League side they beat in the FA Cup, Tottenham at Wembley in 2010 in a fairly unforgettable semi-final in extra time as Eze drives forward infield, 40 yards out. Eze trying to get round Chaplin, and ball worked back, and Pompey have it midway inside the Portsmouth half. Odegaard works it into the penalty area. Havertz is offside, controls it well, thought about having a finish but realised the whistle has long gone. Blue Army continues to ring out. 80 seconds left on the watch.
Referee having a look at his watch, he won't be too long. Portsmouth just keeping the ball as they can, just to see the game out, I think, Andy.
Ball forward looking for Bishop. Bishop trying to get away from his man and can't. And ball is inside the centre circle. Odegaard is looking to work it across the pitch over towards that left hand side for Eze. Eze finds Odegaard, and Arsenal trying to come forward, and they're looking to work it back. Ball into the middle. Havertz with a chance, swivels, and his shot's blocked by Ogilvie, and Devlin clears it away, and the whistle goes, and that whistle is the final whistle, and Arsenal have knocked Portsmouth out of the FA Cup. Blue Army rings out. They've beaten Portsmouth by 4 goals to 1, Mark Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, from the endeavour, the way that Portsmouth pressed and made it hard, especially in that first half, Arsenal in free play, really some really good stuff, Andy, and you saw, you know, a lot of front foot work. It's just those set pieces over a course of a game has really caused us a problem again, but the Fratton faithful, everybody in Fratton Park could see how hard the Portsmouth lads, the endeavour they were putting in, and as I said, from a free play point of view, I think Portsmouth had the best at times, but you know, and you weren't really expecting it, but I think it was a good display from that point. It's just those dreaded set pieces at this moment in time.
You wanted them to come out with intensity, and a wonderful moment, Bishop's goal after 3 minutes.
Yep.
And really, for that first half an hour, there was real intensity that worried and troubled Arsenal and could have led to more than a solitary goal.
Yeah, absolutely. They got the press right. They were really putting them under pressure. They were going as a group. They were nicking things on the front foot, especially Swanson and Devlin. They were getting a lot of opportunities in areas and balls into the box, but just unfortunately couldn't turn it at that time. And it was such a quick goal, wasn't it? Portsmouth go in the lead 3.5 minutes in, but we have an opportunity to clear the ball from Devlin and not give them a corner. We concede the corner and they score straight away. That puts us on a little bit of a back foot straight away.
And you mentioned the corners, the worry you go to next week to Sheffield Wednesday. Look, Sheffield Wednesday are not going to pass the ball around Pompey. Pompey probably will have the better of that game in open play, but they are going to have to defend set pieces, albeit against a side that won't have the same quality of runners and the same accuracy of delivery. Referee getting booed going off, but they will have to defend set pieces better than they have done today.
Now listen, we can see where it's going. It's been a real problem all season, and it's continuing now. And you can work as hard as you can work in a game, but sometimes set pieces, it comes down to simple things. Got to do your job right, got to stand up properly. But when that stuff lets you down, you lose games on it, you lose points through it. So we've got to make sure that that work gets done on the training ground.
More to come from Mark Kelly, reaction to come from John Messino and the players. Your thoughts very welcome. 08000 321 333 is our WhatsApp number. Start with the message. Starting message the word Solent at Solent Sport on social media. 81333 is the text number. Start with Solent, and that costs one standard network message to contact us that way. Plenty of reaction to come. It's finished here at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Well, unfortunately, no magic of the Cup at Fratton Park this afternoon. In the end, it was a scoreline that was a bit harsh on Pompey.
Left-footed in-swing delivery to the near post again. Arsenal win the header and it's into the net. And Martinelli is going to take the match ball home. It's a third goal from a corner for Arsenal. A third goal in the game for Gabriel Martinelli. He gets double figures for the season. It's Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4.
Billy on X says good performance overall, but the result doesn't show how well we actually did. But now we can focus on the league, and survival is an absolute must. Get your thoughts in on the text, which is 81333. Solent first word. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, Solent at the start of your message. We're also on X, which is at Solent Sport. Portsmouth losing 4-1 at home to Arsenal in the FA Cup third round. We're on the air until 5 o'clock. Lots of time to get your views on. And also coming up, we're going to get reaction from the Pompey camp. We'll bring you John Messino live. What does he make of the couple of injuries that Portsmouth have picked up in this game? They really don't need that with the long list of injuries that they've currently got. We'll also get the thoughts of Mark Kelly, our Pompey summariser, who's been watching on as Portsmouth lost to Arsenal. So it's all on the way on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Coming up to 4 o'clock, it is BBC Radio Solent. I'm Jono Holmes, and taking you through until 5 o'clock. Let's have a look at some of the other FA Cup scores this afternoon. Leeds went to Derby and won 3-1 a little bit earlier on, as we've been bringing you Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4 as a full time. These games still going on as they kicked off at 2:30. It's West Ham 1, QPR 0. 1-1 between Swansea and West Brom. This is an absolute thriller at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Mansfield. It's currently Sheffield United 3, Mansfield 4 in that game. Norwich 4-0 up on Walsall, and it's goalless between Hull City and Blackburn. I bet that's an absolute thriller there up on Humberside. 4:30, Manchester United take on Brighton a little bit later on in the All Premier League tie. One game that we've been keeping our eye on in the Women's National League Plate quarterfinals. Moneyfields 5-1 up on London City Lionesses under 21s at the moment. Let's go back to Fratton Park, bring in Mark Kelly, our Pompey summariser today, who's been with us for Solent Sport. Portsmouth 1, Arsenal 4 in the third round of the FA Cup. Harsh scoreline, do you think, Mark?
And especially in free play, I think, Jono. I think, Portsmouth come out with real intent. They got the press right, they got the work right, commitment right. But it was set pieces undone us again. There's 3. Martinelli's got 2 near post flicks. He's not the biggest lad in the world, so that's the real disappointing thing leaving the game today. But I think from a Portsmouth point of view in free play, we certainly held our own, and especially in the first half where we maybe could have got 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, a message that's come in here on WhatsApp from a gutted blue, no name on it. 3 corners leading to 3 goals. It's been Pompey's Achilles heel all season. I'm amazed that it's still such a weak point. We played well in open play, but we're still shocking at defending set pieces. The injuries are a disaster as it's more attacking players going down. A seriously impressive window needed to patch up this squad. 4-1 defeat, our weaknesses exposed, and more injuries. A bad day, really. As well as they played in this game, Mark, unfortunately there's more injuries and more set piece goals against them, and that's what everyone's going to be looking at, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's the reality of it, isn't it? You know, our Achilles heel, as you said from the fan there, and it's something that needs to be sorted. It needs to be sorted out quickly because we concede far too many goals from set pieces, and again, it just showed again today. And two more front men going down with injuries, just not good for this squad, Jono, at all. So as I said, busy January window, as we said before the game.
It's not a new thing though, is it? Conceding from set pieces. This has been a little bit of a theme. So I'm wondering, why it's not been sorted by now, Mark.
No, exactly that. I'm sure there's plenty of work going on the training ground, but it's something you've got to get right. You've got to do all your analysis. You've got to get your work right, and you've got to find a way. And especially today, we've got probably our 2 natural centre halves in Shaughnessy and Paul in there, but there's just too much movement going on from where they were. So was the analysis right on how Arsenal, because Arsenal do score from set pieces, they do score a lot of set pieces. Did we get the work right behind the scenes? It doesn't look like we have, and it's something that we really, really have to get sorted out.
That's something that can be easily fixed on the training ground, because it's not proven like an easy fix at the moment.
It's not just fixing, but you've got to do a lot of work behind the scene analysis. You've got to break down who you're playing against, how they work, how they how they set up and what they're doing, and we just don't seem to be getting that right as a balance across the board. So it's something that John Messina, I'm sure, and the staff are going to be pretty concerned about, because it's what's causing you problems. Because how much effort and energy you can put into a game, in free play, all the work you put in, it comes down to simple basic things about marking, picking people up and following runners, that type of thing. And, it just lets you down. So it's a really, really disappointing part of what's going on at the moment.
And look, given Arsenal's set-piece record, it's not a surprise that they scored a goal from a set-piece today. You wouldn't be surprised that an Arsenal goal came. But the fact, was it 3 from the first 4 corners? So when the game was really in the balance, corners should never be that much of a threat. No one should be scoring that number of goals from corners. And we knew Arsenal were going to be good. It just felt like it was a bit too easy. And the first one was a bit chaotic, but the other 2 were quite simple near-post corners that Arsenal just got their head to first and glanced it in. And it's just too easy. And other sides, even in the Championship, they won't have the quality Arsenal have. They won't have the delivery. They won't have the aerial strength that Arsenal have. But they'll still look at that and think we can cause Pompey problems there. And the reality is, Championship games you may lose conceding 1 goal from a corner, rather than you don't need to concede 3 from a corner to blow a game in the Championship.
No, absolutely, and it has caused us problems, Andy. As we know, it's been happening all season, and simple things, basic things from corners and set pieces, it's really causing us a problem.
Injuries and set pieces very much the theme of the messages that we're getting through on X, on WhatsApp and on the text. Andy, by the way, just shout if you get John Musino in a second. Mark here says, weird game, take the corners out, and thought we played and battled and showed a lot of fight. Could have had a couple of goals, played fairly well, but we all know that set pieces are Pompey's downfall. Arsenal took full advantage of them. Harsh scoreline, I think, and the injuries again, not good. Yeah. Mark, on those injuries, Harvey Blair going off, Ume going off with an